there is big, and it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Who's in 23 years old when I got that swing?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. Of course, my name is Bart Hansen, and I am joined by the Tuxer, ever busy, David Tuckman.
How you doing?
And I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good.
We are fresh off of doing another batch of voiceover work for the LA poker scene, which, of course, for our English viewers, you can check out on Sky Satellite 265, the poker channel.
Yeah, actually, like 2 episodes a day, pretty much?
Yeah, I mean, if you ever go to the website, pokerchannel.co.uk or .uk.co, you can check it out. We're their mainstay of their network. Tonight we normally do a $500, 510 no-limit hold'em game, but we had a little bit of trouble getting that down. So we're actually going to do a $200 game, but it's going to be interesting because there are tons of chips at the table, and we might raise the blinds later on, and eventually might change it to a 5-10 game or a 5-5 game.
Right.
Now, the definition of no-limit hold'em, of course, is the blinds. People say, well, what's the buy-in, 200, 500,000? That really doesn't make the game. It's really the blinds.
Well, in this case, obviously, the blind's going to start out 3 and 5, but, you know, a lot of these players have $1,000 in front of them, so...
I wanted to show you something really cool here, Dave.
What is that?
If you go to the upper, I believe it's the right-hand corner of our website here, you can check out these little mouse pads. They're like little. It's on the right side. They're like little, like poker mouse pads. So when you're playing internet poker, it's almost like playing on a little poker table here. With
that's kind of cool.
With your
so you can even practice shuffling chips with them. Right?
Exactly.
That's
practice
pretty cool.
shuffling chips. Practice doing anything. It's cool. It's like a little guard for your mouse and such like that. And Dave, like any other restricted buy-in game, some of the most common mistakes that we see in this game are sometimes people that are coming in with holdings that aren't necessarily, they don't have the implied odds to take in.
Now, obviously, in this game, the implied odds are huge in a game where the blinds are so small, but the stacks are so deep.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they're starting to play at the table, so let's get to the action.
Let's do that.
Now, we are going to get a chance to go around the table here in a second and introduce the players, but for right now, we're going to get right into the action. Well, let's go around and introduce the players.
In seat 1, we've got... help me out here, Bart.
Boy, it looks like Hi.
Hui?
Hi. H-U-Y. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And seat 2, we've got Tony.
Yep.
Seat 3, we've got David. David Lyle.
Yep.
Seat 4, we've got Andrew Bennett. And these are some players that have played in some of the bigger games.
Absolutely. Now, Andrew took that huge hit with the flush in a Friday night game last Friday.
Oh, man. What did he lose? A $10,000 pot? Actually, about a $17,000 pot to Carlos.
Yep.
Seat 5, we've got Vu Lei.
Yep.
Seat 6, we've got, I want to say that's Craig.
Yep. Looks like
Craig Thorpe.
Yep.
Seat 7 is empty for now, but obviously the seat is locked up.
Yep.
And somebody will be back in a second for that. Seat 8, we've got a local pro, Walt Schaefer.
Yep.
And he really specializes in these smaller buy-in, no-limit games.
Yep.
But as you can see, you buy in for 200, and he's got well over 6 or 7 at least.
Yep.
And seat 9, we've got Daniel Nelson.
So we're going to start off with 3 and 5 blinds in this game, and we'll see if they're going to escalate as we move forward, Dave.
Now, this game is really interesting because it's almost as deep as a lot of 500 games might be.
Yep.
But at the same time, the blind structure is so small that you really can, basically see a flop with some really speculative hands.
Now, we haven't done a 200 game in a long time, Dave. So some of these players we haven't seen at the table before, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to get bigger games on the table, but let's get some new faces in there, right?
You know what? Poker's poker. And whether you're playing poker at, 1-2, or in this game, case, a $200 game, or you're playing a huge game, you got to learn that play. You got to learn poker.
Seat 5 is opened here for 25. He's got pocket 7s, and it looks like he's going to take it down without a flop.
Now, it's interesting. We were trying to get the unrestricted $500 game on the table.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the problem was we actually have 2 games down right now in the casino.
Yeah.
And they're both hopping. the problem is actually the action. The games were just so much action
Yeah.
that the players couldn't agree on who was going to move.
Yeah, and actually, we're going to get an action player to come to the table, but some of the local pros who wanted him at the table tried to convince him not to come to the table.
Right.
So
It was
if
funny.
we just
Well-
got that one guy, the whole table would have come.
Well, the funny thing is, if he had moved, I think all 15 players wanted to move.
Right, right.
And if he didn't move, nobody wanted to move.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, he had about $5,000 or $6,000 in front of him, and everybody was trying to get him.
Yeah. Now, we have straddled pot here, so it's $10 to call, and we've got a few limpers. And it looks like David Law straddled out of seat 3, so we've got 5-way action.
Well, you know
here.
he's action.
Yeah.
He doesn't have much money in there either.
Jack 10-7 here with a couple of spades. And it went checked around here. The turn is a 10. And that gives Vu the nut flush draw, 10 of hearts on the turn.
And he's going to bet it. I think he bets $30.
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool.
And looks like he is going to take it down there. So, unfortunately, also, Dave, 2+2, if you want to follow a thread that started on the internet, you can go to 2plus2.com, spelled out, click on forums, click on the Texas Hold'em section, mid to high stakes, pot limit, and no limit. And this game might be considered a smaller stakes game, but, it's a mid-stakes game when they're this deep as well.
Well, at this point, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to get a chip count for you, but I'm just looking at the table, and I mean, David, who just joined the game in seat 3, he only has a couple $100.
Right.
But there are 3 or 4 players at this table that are easily $700-800 deep.
Right. This game's been going for a long time. We got a raise here by seat 2. The pot was straddled once again. He's going to raise with ace-king, and he's going to pick up the limpers there and the straddle spot. Now, common poster on 2+2, Baron Vangor Toth, who's been with us since the start. People were looking to see him in the game, but unfortunately he will not be able to attend tonight. I read here on the 2+2 thread, and I was looking around for him in the casino. He had business conflicts, so he wasn't able to get here. So again, you can go to that thread.
Priorities.
Yeah. Questions, comments, suggestions. You can also email us at live@thebike.com.
Yeah, we'd love to read your emails, please.
Yeah. 25. Now, seat number 5 here, he's going to come in for a raise to 25. He's got Jack 7 of diamonds.
Now, interestingly, seat 4, Andrew's got ace-king offsuit.
And he's going to call, and ace-king is out of position, so here we go, heads up. Oh, queen, queen 4. Let's see if Jack 7 continues to bet here. And let's see how Andrew's going to play it. He is going to bet.
That's not a bad flop for ace-king, I got to tell you.
He's going to bet 60 here. And let's see what he's going to do.
Wow, looks like Andrew's making a move. No, he's just going to call.
Okay. So he's made the call. The turn is a diamond, and now Vu picks up a flush draw. And he's going to take the card. And the river's a diamond.
Yeah,
And
but it's
he
the
makes
ace.
a backdoor flush.
But Andrew makes aces up.
And Andrew's going to bet with the ace. He's going to bet 40, and Vu moves all in. A $40 bet here on the river, and Vu moves all in, Dave. I want to say that the pot is about... And look at this, a call. He's going to make a call, and this pot's going to be about $600 or $700. And Vu made a backdoor diamond draw. Once he bet the flop and got called, he's figuring, I'm shutting down here. I pick up a draw here. I'm going to check behind and take my card, and there it comes there on the river.
You wonder, actually. Vu kind of played it also like he had a queen. It wasn't... If you think about it, okay, guy checked me, I'll bet one time, the guy called me. Wait a second. Maybe I'll check the queen one more time now. See if I can induce a bluff.
Yep. Wow.
Surprised to see Andrew call him there with aces up.
And that pot, again, Dave, on the turn, the pot was 180. The guy bets 40 into the river, and then he moves all in there for about 300 and got a call.
Yeah, now, see, Andrew, where he made his mistake there was if he thought his ace-king was good on the flop, why not raise him all in? Why just smooth call? Because you're out of position. Now, if you're in position, obviously you can induce a bluff. But his hand is obviously vulnerable. If a 7 or a jack fall off, you're behind.
Now, David Law, he's going to raise here out of seat number, looks like 3. We can't see what he has.
8-king.
King 8 offsuit.
No, 10-8, sorry.
10-8 offsuit. He made it 35. And look at the small blind who just lost that pot. He calls with 7-4 suited.
Well, there's not much that David can beat, but 7-4 is one of them.
And Andrew's going to bet right into this board, though. And he's going to bluff David out of there. He bet 40 there, and he's going to take it down. And there it is. So
And that's what we're hearing is Andrew actually was playing in the 500 game and was doing rather well, but wanted to play on Live at the Bike, so left that game to play in the $200 game. And we'll see what we can do about possibly converting this at some point. But like you were saying, I mean, a $200 buying game with these kind of blinds can be really entertaining.
Now, we had a limp here by Walter, probably the tightest player at the table with Jack 9 suited. And we got a raise by seat 2. He's going to make it 20 to go with, looks like King 10 off. And seat 4 is going to call with 7-9 of clubs on the button. So we got about $60 pot here. King, Queen 4.
Well, seat 2 has picked up the best hand here. Tony's got top pair.
And he checked it. And everybody checks. The turn's a queen. Now Andrew has a flush draw. And, you know, Tony's going to bet. And you wonder if Andrew might have raised there. You know, could he have done something? The river's a deuce, and he misses the flush draw. And King 10 checks. And seat 4 is going to bet 45, and that's not enough. Tony's going to take it down there. Busted draw. No good. Sometimes if you raise with your draws when the board pairs there, Dave, you can represent a queen, and maybe someone like King 10 wasn't going to call there.
Right. Odd way to play the hand there by Tony. Hits top pair, checks it, and then checks the whole way and just kind of calls down.
Right.
Checking out this 2+2. I love Russ McGinley's avatar.
Yep.
Great. Once again, we're live at the Bike, folks. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. We're playing No Limit Hold'em. The blinds are 3 and 5 tonight.
And David Love, he's going to raise it up to 25. Again, we need to see his cards over there in seat 3. And look at seat 4. He's going to call with Queen 9 offsuit. And David's got Ace 8 offsuit. David's a very loose, aggressive player.
Laggy.
Yeah, and we got a call here on the button with Ace 9 offsuit. So these players are playing pretty loose. And look at that, and Ace flops, Ace, Jack, Jack.
Uh-oh, is David going to get himself in trouble here?
He's going to bet 20. He's out-kicked right now. Chances are the pot's probably going to get chopped, though.
Right, they both have 2 pair, obviously.
And Vu's going to raise here.
But Vu is in great shape, obviously, because David is actually pretty much drawing dead to win this hand.
Well, he's raised at 55 more, and David's going to call because he only's got about 45 left. So this
David needs running 8s.
Oh, turn is a 3 here, so Vu's hand is still good. Oh, the river's a 10 there, and that's going to chop it up.
Yeah.
And David, David in seat 3, he was kind of short, so he made the call. And they're going to chop out about a $250 pot right there.
Right. That's all you can hope for when you get raised. The flops Ace, Jack, Jack, and you've got weak Ace.
Yeah.
You got to just hope that you're chopping it. I think Andrew there is having some shish kebab. Big fan of the shish kebab. You like it?
I do. Yeah. Big fan. Again, you can email us at live@thebike.com. We do try to read every single one that's interesting, Dave. We've been getting emails from all over the world. Europe, Asia, South America.
Yeah, I mean, I love the emails from all over the world. It's great.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So again, even though this is a restricted buying game where these stacks are this deep, it almost plays like real No Limit when the blinds are so small. Now we got a $20 raise here, and look at seat 4, Dave. He's coming in with some really speculative hands. 10 deuce. And seat 2, check called with looks like an Ace 10 offsuit.
Well, you wonder maybe, like we just said, Andrew, we know he's lost big pots. I mean, we know he plays in the big game, the 10-20 game, where thousands of dollars are passing him. You know, maybe he's kind of like, 200 or whatever.
He makes a bet there in position. He's going to take it down. Yeah, he lost a big hand on Friday, about a $10,000 hand. So let's see if he thinks he's going to run over the table here.
You want to hear funny? Last night, I was actually playing in the 30-60 Hold'em game last night. And Yosh, I guess he had a good night in the during Live at the Bike last night. Yosh just took 4 $50 chips and threw them in the middle of the pot and said, okay, the next winner gets this also. So, needless to say, everybody entered the pot.
15.
And it looks like Andrew's going to raise here again. He's going to make it 15 to go. He's got 5-8 of diamonds.
50.
And Vu has got Ace-King, and he's going to re-raise to 50 here in seat 5.
Now, what do you do if you're in seat 2 here? Tony's got Queen-Jack suited.
Well, he did limp in under the gun, but I don't know if that hand can take a raise and a re-raise, and he's going to fold. Now let's see what Andrew does. Again, Andrew, he'd been raising with just about anything. He's going to fold.
And how much money does he have behind him? He must have a $100 chip
yeah,
there,
it's
huh?
like a $100 chip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Takes it down.
Now, pretty exciting. We've got our Ho-Ho Hold'em tournaments coming up. in about a week. Next Thursday, I believe, is our Limit Hold'em Turkey Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually Thursday, November 24th, all the way through Sunday, December 11th.
Yep.
We've got numerous tournaments, and I believe they are all Hold'em tournaments, either limit or no limit.
20.
And they range in buy-in from $100 all the way up to $500.
Now, Daniel has raised here to 20 with ace-queen suited, and C2's got a dominated hand. He's going to call out of the big blind with ace-9.
Funny, see, I would have
Wow.
rather seen him call with queen-jack suited than ace-9 offsuit.
And Daniel hit top pair here, but Tony also has middle pair. It's a $40 bet, and it looks like Tony's going to quickly call a 40.
And he's in bad shape here. I
Yeah.
mean, he needs a 9 and only a 9.
Whoa, look at that. The card flipped off the table there. The dealer went to turn the card, and it flipped off the table. Now, that card's going to play, right?
Yeah.
Turn to 3. Tony's going to check.
Talk about that. That's a new meaning to turn, huh?
And Daniel bets again, and this now Tony's going to get away from it here. You know, Dave, a lot of people might check raise that flop or bet right out. You don't necessarily give the button credit for a big hand like ace-queen when he's first to bring in the pot there.
Right.
And he played ace-9 there in seat number 2. That's Tony, kind of passively.
Well, if you're going to call a raise, right, once you hit a little piece of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we saw earlier he had king 10. He flopped top pair, and all he did was check call the whole way.
Right.
One thing's kind of cool. We've got on Saturday, December 3rd, we have Charity Poker Gone Mad. If you bring a toy, you get a free entry into the tournament.
35.
A new unwrapped toy.
Now look at this. Vu has raised here to 35 with ace-10 of clubs, but seat 6, we haven't seen him play tonight. That's Craig. He's got pocket ladies. And I think he said re-raise.
Re-raise.
And it looks like he's going to re-raise the minimum there. I think he's going to make it 70 to go.
Yeah, and he only has a couple of hundred behind him, so I mean he's almost committing himself to the pot already.
And actually, he's re-raising 100 here.
Wow, that's a big re-raise.
Yep, and like you said, he's pretty much pot committed now.
Well, I mean, look at his stack.
Yep,
He's got, I think, 70% of his stack in there.
yep.
I mean, if Vu's going to play the hand, he might as well just move all in.
Well, the interesting thing is, if you think the guy has pocket 8s or pocket 9s, do you want to take this for a race? And like he's going to move all in, but there's so many hands that, you know,
Yeah.
ace-10 is going to be dominated by or against, you know, an overpair.
Even against 8s or 9s,
Yeah.
I'm still an underdog, a slight underdog.
So
But
we're all in here. And ace-10 picks up a pair here. Turns a deuce. He needs a 10 or an ace, and the river's a 6, and Craig's going to double through.
now, I will say, Craig, had Craig slow played it, he probably still would have doubled up.
Right, because Vu hit top pair there with top kicker.
Right.
But again, what I was going to say is, you know, you put the guy in a range of hands. Now, ace-king in that spot, Dave, you know, if you've already raised there and he only has that much left, you might gamble it up. But even ace-queen and ace-jack, you know, it's kind of a different story because if you're up against jacks, queens, kings, or ace-king, or aces, you don't have odds to really put
Well,
that money
that's
in
what you're
there.
looking at. If you have
Yeah.
ace-10 of clubs, you've raised up to 30, and this guy's now re-raised to 100.
Yeah,
Can you think of a hand the guy might have that you want him to have?
right,
I mean, what do you think? He's doing it with king-jack?
right. And I actually like these kind of, you know, this game, Dave, because we can really get into some pretty deep analysis about restricted buy and no limit hold'em. Whereas sometimes Fridays and Wednesdays games are just so chock full of action and entertainment.
Well, it's really hard to find any literature, too,
Right.
on restricted buy-in, no-limit games.
Right. Now we got a raise here by the button. He had queens. He made it 30, and he's going to take it down. And the issue is now, people on 2+2, and maybe somebody can email us, the under-over of the amount of hands that Walter might play tonight in seat number 8.
Now, Walter sometimes will mix it up, to believe it
Yeah.
or not. He'll mix it up a little bit. He's not like tight bad, like tight weak. I mean,
Right.
I think he's tight solid.
Right.
I mean, to me, if I had to rate the tightest players ever in the history of Live at the Bike, Tony still gets my top vote.
Tony, the Filipino prop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who always wears a shirt and a tie.
Now, David Law, he's raised it up to 20 in seat 3. The big blind's got king 10. Again, we need to see David's cards over there in seat 3. He's got ace deuce. And the flop comes king jack 9. So seat 5's got a good piece of this. He's got top pair with a straight draw.
Yeah.
And he's going to bet.
Neither player has a club.
60.
He's going to bet 60, and David's going to fold. You know, David Tuckman and I played David Law a lot in seat 3 in limit hold'em. And it seems like he's playing no limit the same as limit. Dave, he's an aggressive player. He'll race with any ace, regardless, almost in any position, which sometimes is suicide, especially in limit hold'em.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean,
he'll also call any raise with any suited cards.
Any suited cards?
Any suited cards. Like I was telling you yesterday, he actually called a 3-bet with Queen 5 of clubs.
In a 30-60 game.
No, this is actually a 20-40 game.
Oh, okay.
But he's
makes it much better.
Right, like it makes a difference.
Yeah.
But I mean, he called 3 bets cold on the button with Queen 5 of clubs.
Now we get a raise here by C2, 6-7 offsuit, and Vu's going to call. And Vu's got pocket 7, so he's in good shape, but he's out of position. Ace 9-4 here with a couple of hearts. And let's see how Vu's going to play it. Look at this. He leads into it again, Dave. He did it before. He's going to lead in. There was only one overcard there.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes people will turn on Live at the Bike and watch and go, oh, it's only a 200 game.
Yeah.
I want to, they really look forward to that our Friday big game and our Wednesday whale game. You know, the funny thing is, sometimes the play is better in this game. Actually, I'll say more often than not, play is better in this game than you see in the big games.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. Got a new player coming into seat 7, Song. And that's Sinjin there in seat 7. He played in the 3-5, David. He was the loosest player at the table. We've got a pretty loose game here so far.
And his name is what again?
Sinjin.
Sinjin.
Yeah. Now, David Law's going to raise all in 75 to open the pot up. He's got Queen 9 offsuit. You know, it's funny. We haven't seen a smaller game that's this loose in a very long time. Because sometimes we've been doing the 3-5 and it's been very tight, solid. This game is going to be almost extremely laggy.
Well, I mean, if you look
laggy.
at the players that are in it, you got Andrew in seat 4,
yeah,
who literally is used to playing $1,000 pots.
Right.
So what's a couple $100? And then you got David Law, who literally would play 30-60. I actually saw him last night playing 60-120 mixed game.
Yeah.
You know, so he think a couple $100 for him is nothing. So he's going to be mixing it up all night.
David Law's got pocket aces this time.
Well,
and this time he's only going to raise to $10. Oh, my. I mean, he raises with garbage 35 and 40, and this time with aces he's only going to raise to $10. And seat number 1 and seat number 7, look at this. He's going to raise with pocket 6s to 110, and David Law has him. And he's going to push all in.
Now, a good laydown by seat 1, by the way.
Pocket 9s,
Ooh, ahoy.
And look at this. Well, he might look like a genius there. Now the flop comes King 6-9 with a couple of hearts.
Wow.
Turns a 7, so Sinjin flops a set, and he rivers a full house. And I think David Law's out of there.
Yeah, and you know what would have been really interesting, and there's the flop for you. Seat 1, Hoy.
Yeah.
Hoy? I'm gonna struggle with this guy's name all night.
Hi or Hoy, yeah.
We'll get the pronunciation for you. But he had pocket 9s. Mm-hmm. So that would have been real interesting.
Right. That would have been real interesting. I mean, the only thing that we criticism of sometimes of extremely laggy players, Dave, is that they tend to be a little inconsistent. Like, we've been kind of hard on Corporation Mike lately. You're going to raise with rags to a certain amount. Now you're going to raise with aces to 10? I mean, why not bet your good hands as well, right?
Well, the whole point of being aggressive and scary and dangerous, people are always saying, well, you know, these players, they get paid off. Players like Gus Hansen, the reason he gets paid off is because he's raising with garbage so much of the time. Scott Fishman in a tournament, he raises with garbage so much that when he actually has a real hand, people can't believe it.
Look at this, another example. Sinjin limped in on the button with ace-king. He flopped top pair, and he checked it, and now and Andrew has an 8, and he's going to bet $5 here. Sinjin's just going to call. Sinjin limped in with ace-king on the button. I mean, and he's been raising with rags all the time, too. Andrew bets $5 on a call. River's a queen. And let's see what Andrew does here.
20.
He's going to bet 20. And was Sinjin slow playing this? Does he think he has the best hand, or is he scared of the 8? He limped in on the button.
Well, he's actually
ace-king.
thinking about it here. Is he thinking of raising?
I think that he was thinking he was playing it clever, and he's going to raise to the rip.
Time.
And look at this. He's turned up his cards here. It's only a $20 bet.
I know. All this for $20?
And he folds. Wow.
Wow, hey, great laydown.
Unbelievable.
All that. I mean, wow. Quite a knack for $20.
Yeah.
But the whole point of it, if you look at players like Gus Hansen, all these guys, they're action players, and they get paid off because you can't give them credit for a hand because they're bluffing so much.
Right.
They're in there raising and mixing it up so often that they always get paid off. But if you play it differently, if you're bluffing one way, and then when you have a real hand,
Right.
you kind of play it slow, well, good players are going to pick up on that, aren't they?
Yeah. Now we got a new player coming into seat 3. Richard Song.
So we say goodbye to David, huh?
Yeah. It's too bad for the game because he's in a lot of action, Dave. Limped around here. Looks like it's 5 ways. Ace 10-10 here on the flop. Now no one has a 10. And
Boo's got an
Boo's
ace, though.
And he's going to bet.
40.
He's going to bet $40 here. And Walter looks like he's having my brew over there, St. Pauli Girl. He's going to fold.
It's a good beer.
Good German beer. Hey, we got our first email here.
Yeah?
This is from Michael Van Dam. He says, do you have any tips for internet players who are entering a live tournament? I'm going for it Sunday, I think, for the first time, so I can use all the tips. Greeting, Michael Van Dam from the Netherlands, from Holland, another Dutch viewer.
Hello, Michael Van Dam.
Yeah. So, Dave, do you have any tips?
Well, first of all, what do you mean if you say overall, over the top, all in?
Well, he also said, I was going to get to that in a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But do you have any tips for internet players who are entering a live tournament?
Well, yeah, I mean, there are obviously a couple of tips you can do. In terms of playing live, first of all, you're going to get a lot fewer hands.
Right.
Player.
So you're going to have to loosen up a little
You're
bit.
definitely going to have to loosen up a bit.
We see 4-way action here. Pot was limped around. Ace, deuce, deuce. Now, Richard's got a flush draw, and he's going to bet right into it. He's going to bet $20. But Craig has top pair in seat 6, so let's see how he plays it. He's going to just call.
Two players.
Walter's out of there. Turn is a 3. Let's see if Richard shuts down here.
Bet 50.
Now he's going to bet again. He's going to bet 50 this time.
And the pot is what, about...
The pot, I want to say, he's betting about the size of the pot. Look at that. Craig's going to lay it down, the ace-9.
Wow.
Wasn't comfortable with his kicker, I guess.
I guess he looked at it and said, well, I can't beat a good ace, and I can't beat a deuce. Other tips, obviously, there are a lot of tips you can think of. I'm trying to think of some other ones that I can, off the top of my head, quickly. But I'm pretty sure I know an internet play, if you're playing in, say, let's say 15-minute rounds.
Yeah.
You're getting, probably twice as many hands in as you would in a live tournament.
Yep.
Another thing I can say is be well rested. I think playing in a live tournament when you're actually there and you have to focus on everybody and you can't take breaks as often, it's a lot more tiring.
Now, Hyde there on the button, he's going to raise it to 15. He's got 10-7 offsuit. And we got a call here. And it's actually seat number 1. He's got 6-7 offsuit, excuse me. Seat 9's got the 10-7. And Vu's hit top pair, and he's going to bet right again here.
50.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, Daniel's got 7-10 offsuit. He's going to fold. So Vu has bet 50 here on the flop. It's over to High, who had raised with 6-7 offsuit, and he's not going to get involved. So we haven't really seen a lot of check raising here by Vu. We've seen him bet his hands.
Thank you.
The problem there with Ace Deuce, Dave, again, like any other hand that can be easily dominated, if you hit your hand and someone else doesn't hit your hand, you win a small pot. But if both of you hit your hand, you're going to lose a big pot.
Right. Ace Rag can be a troublesome hand.
I mean, so can Ace Jack and Ace 10 and King Queen. I mean, those are got to be some of the most troublesome hands. Like I said, it's kind of like heads I win, tails you lose.
Right.
Not really a great.
I mean, to be honest with you, I
proposition.
actually like Ace Deuce better than, say, in certain cases, I actually like to, if I'm going to call a raise, I'd rather have, let's say, Ace Deuce suited
Right.
rather than Ace Jack offsuit.
It's interesting. So you're saying that you're smart enough to get away from a lone ace there on the board, or you're
Yeah, and
going to get
it's
some
also
information.
less likely to hit somebody.
Yeah.
If, let's say, you were to raise, and I got lucky enough the flop came out, say, Jack High, you might have overpairs. But if I have Ace Deuce, what am I looking to hit? I mean, I might catch, if I get really lucky and I catch 2 pair and you have Ace King, maybe I can win a big pot.
Look at this. Greg leads into the flop here with nothing. And Richard, he's going to raise on the button there with trips, and he's going to take it down. So pretty straightforward play here again. Maybe Craig watches the show. He knows that when the flop comes with a pair in it, a lot of times it misses everyone.
Yeah, take a shot. Why not take a shot at it?
Yeah.
Got the information he was looking for. I'm trying to think of some other tips for some internet players that are going to play live. Now, most of my experience actually is live, so it's difficult for me. I'm trying to think of what might the differences be, and obviously there's a huge number of differences.
We're going to take a look at the first chip count of the night. So Walt, he's got $1,100 there, Dave, and I would imagine that stack is not going to go up and down that much. But Vu, he looks pretty action. He's actually at about, I want to say 700 right now in seat number 5.
St. John, look at that, 500
Yeah.
after sucking out with the 6s.
Yeah. So we'll see how this one goes around. Pot looked like it was limped around here, and it looks like we got a set of 7s over there for Andrew in seat 4. And he's going to check it from the button, Dave, with a couple diamonds out there.
And nobody's got a diamond here.
Turn is a 3, but now Vu in seat 5's got a flush draw. And look at this, though. Daniel, he's caught a straight, and he's going to bet.
Wow.
He had an open-ended straight draw. He's going to bet 15.
Now, Vu has a straight draw and a flush draw.
And excuse me, it's Daniel with the straight. I'm sorry. Craig bet in with Jack 7. Daniel's going to raise. He raises it to 45 with the straight. So Craig bet in with Jack 7, and Daniel raises. And Andrew calls the raise.
And Andrew's all in there for $105, I think.
No. I think he's playing money behind as well.
Is he? Okay.
And Vu calls with the flush draw. And can Craig overcall here with Jack 7? I mean, everyone's calling. He bet with the Jack 7. And he's going to make the call.
Wow.
So 45 times 4, that's about $180 here on the flop.
Now, Vu also has that gut shot. He needs a 6 or a spade.
About a $200 pot here.
45.
He had 105. He should get 60 change.
5 to be
So,
And
again,
Andrew needs the board to pair.
yeah. And the river's a king.
Wow, King of Hearts. What a perfect card.
High blank, right?
Exactly. Daniel's got the nuts here.
Yeah, Daniel has the nuts. And let's see how much Daniel's going to push. It's about a $200 pot.
This is a burn card.
To me, this is one of those times where you almost don't even mind over betting.
Now, wait a minute. What has happened here? Wait a minute. He didn't burn the card, David.
Wow,
They're
that's a
changing the
huge
river.
difference.
They're changing the river to a 3, and now Andrew has the winning hand.
Oh, wow, that's a huge,
Oh,
huge
my.
difference.
That's unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
And now,
With no objections, any of the players didn't object?
now what happened here? Who bet? Did Daniel check in seat 9? Did he check the straight? I think Daniel checked the straight, and he's gonna check raise with the nut straight. Andrew bet with the full house.
Oh.
Craig called in the middle with Jack 7, and Daniel's gonna check raise here. And Andrew doesn't have that much money over there. Obviously, he's gonna move all in.
Call.
Wait a minute, did Andrew move it all in, or did he just call?
And Craig threw it away.
7
Now, Andrew he just called there with the full house in seat 4.
king.
And he actually asked him, do you have 4 3s?
Yeah, he didn't re-raise all in with the rest of his money, and what a change of a river card there.
Oh, I can't believe it.
Andrew, he's got the full house on the river, but the amazing thing, again, is Daniel check-raised the river, and Andrew in seat 4 just called with the full house. And I thought he only had maybe 100 or 150 left. I got to be honest with you, Dave.
How pissed would you be if you
Yeah.
had a straight there and the dealer did that? Oh.
I got to be honest with you. I would have put my money in there with 7s full of 3s. How do you just call the river?
Yeah, I don't think, how much more money did he have, though?
I think he had like $80 left.
Did he really? Wow. And there's
Yeah.
only 2 hands he's got to be scared of. What? He's going to be scared of 9s full and 4 3s?
Yeah,
That's it?
because he had 200 left, and he only called the $150 check raise. It's amazing. Now we got a raise here on the button with King Queen. And St. John, he's just called with Ace King suited here, out of position. Daniel's going to call with 8-10 of diamonds. We got three-way action here, over $100 pot.
10-8 deuce.
Deuce. Daniel's
Wow.
got trip 8s.
100.
And Vu, it gets checked to Vu, and he's going to bet 100. And
It's about a $100 pot, so.
Daniel checked the trip 8s from
Now, this
up
is
front.
interesting. What is St. John going to do? Because St. John's beating Vu,
Mhm.
but he's got to worry about Daniel behind him now.
Again, how do you just call with a full house at the end?
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Again, one of these situations where you might think Ace King is good here, but you do have to deal with a guy in between.
Right, but you're thinking, okay, it's a raised pot. What are the odds this guy has an 8? Right?
And St. John folds, and Daniel's going to check raise all in here.
He's not going to mess around like he did last time.
It was a $100 bet on the flop, and he's check raised all in.
And this is a matter of Vu goes, okay, if the guy does have an 8, and he has a pocket pair, which is what I'm going to put him on,
Yeah.
do I have overcards and do I have the odds to go for it?
Now he's going to fold.
And he throws it away.
So he's going to take down about a $300 pot there.
And there are times where you are pot committed. You look at it and go, well, man, it's only $100. I'm getting, say, 4 or 5 to 1. I think my overcards are live. Okay, I'll call $60, $70. Especially if you don't put the guy in trips. Obviously, if you put him on trips, it's an easy lay down.
I wonder if Andrew in seat 4 plays the same way in the big game. I mean, I'm still going back to that set of 7s. He played it so slow and then didn't even maximize his value at the end.
Yeah, it was somewhat surprising. I mean, the whole turn of events there.
Yeah.
With the King of Hearts and then, I don't like that river card. Let's take it away and put another one up there.
Take a look at that Christmas tree there we just cut to.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I guess Christmas is coming. Yeah, I don't really start Christmas until Thanksgiving, to be honest with you.
Right.
It's like Thanksgiving still. Then Christmas.
Now, we had a bunch of limpers in seat number 6. He's going to raise. He's played pretty tight, although he played that Jack 7 pretty questionable. He's going to raise
it's weird.
to
I mean,
40.
he threw away. Remember before the flop was ace, deuce, deuce,
Right.
and he had ace, and he throws it away, and that one was Jack 7. He put half his money in there with it.
Tom Johnson 9.
So he's raised here to 40 from the button. He's got pocket jacks. Action's on seat 9.
It always amazes me sometimes when you watch this game what people decide to put their money in with and what they decide not to.
See if anyone's going to call here. Richard's out with the suited connector.
I think he's going to take it down here. I don't think anybody's calling.
Yep.
Okay.
Another thing I'll say for internet players is if you have a temper, beware using curse words. In many casinos,
In the tournaments.
yeah, in many casinos, if you play a tournament and you use the F word, you will get a penalty.
And regardless, I know at least this casino, be careful mucking your cards. Because if you accidentally muck your cards off of the table, you will also incur a penalty, whether it was intentional or accidental.
Right. There are other things in terms of folding in turn, playing in turn. Obviously, if you're on the internet, you can just press the fold button and go pee or go get a drink of water or something. Can't do that in this game.
Now we have one limper, and Vu is raised here again. He's got King Queen offsuit, and Seat 9's going to call in the big blind with Jack 8 offsuit. And Richard's in there with a little gap suited connector. Ace Deuce 4.
Misses everybody.
Now if Vu bets here, he should take it down, I would think.
Well, if you're going to raise pre-flop,
But
why not
everybody
bet that?
checks. He didn't bet it.
And now Richard's picked up a flush draw.
And everyone checks again, and the river's a 7.
Well, now Richard's open-ended. Does that mean anything?
Is King Queen still good here?
It is.
King Queen is still good.
It's amazing.
And I think that Vu thinks he needs to bet to win this, but he doesn't.
Why would you raise pre-flop, and then it checks to you on that kind of flop? Why would you not bet it?
I don't know.
Amazing. Actually, and then it comes to you on the turn, and you still don't bet it. Amazes me. Hey, did you get the? I got an interesting post from CW Siggy on the 2+2 thread. There was a debate going about Ace Queen suited versus Pocket Jacks.
Right.
I
Yeah.
guess Mason Malmuth.
We talked about that briefly. Shirley and I did. And it was funny because when I posed the question to Shirley, I said I had a tendency. It's all, first of all, it's all positional.
That's
and
what I said to
player
CW.
dependent.
Yeah.
And this was an issue of would you rather have Ace Queen suited or Pocket Jacks in a deep stack game. Now Shirley said, well, I'd rather have Ace Queen, but she thought the question was about tournaments. And then when it was a cash game, she said, okay, Jacks. So it's interesting. Now we're going to get into this hand here. C2's got Pocket Queens in the big blind, and he is going to raise out of the big blind. It's actually a re-raise.
You know, Sinjin's got a couple of ducks, but he gets rid of them.
Yep.
And Walt throws away 9-10 suited on the button. You know, I'm surprised he doesn't take one off with 9-10 suited. Seat 2 is pretty deep, Tony.
But anyways, it's an interesting question. I think, like I said, it's totally player dependent and can dependent. But and they also the question was also if you were to see a flop. Now I would kind of rather have Jacks versus Ace Queen suited. If I was in position. But anyways, I think that the Jacks can take a little bit more heat in the cash.
Well, I mean, I guess in the end, you've got to kind of, if you wanted to put a control out there.
Right.
Okay, and we'll get to it in a second. Seat 4, Andrew's got Ace King suited.
He's in the big blind. And he just checks it. Looks like.
Four-handed now. And then Ace flops, but it's Ace 7, and Andrew might get himself in trouble here.
And everybody checks. Vu had Ace 7.
And Tony's open-ended now.
And now Tony's going to bet. And Andrew just calls with the ace-king. What's going on here at this table?
And I'm assuming Vu's going to raise this up now
Yeah,
to
he
ace
does.
7, right?
He does.
I mean, there's no flush draw out there.
He's going to make it 30 more.
But you got to worry about a wheel possibility.
And Tony calls. And Andrew calls. Pot's about 210, and the river's a 3.
And-
And there's the straight for Tony, and he's going to bet.
Well, he's got the nuts. And he's got the absolute nuts. If somebody has just a 5,
Yep.
he might get paid off.
Well, it looks like an easy straight to make anyone with the 5. He's going to bet 80 here.
Well, you're almost hoping somebody
Yeah.
has a 5.
80 into about a $200 pot. And let's see if Vu pays it off with 2 pair. He's got top 2,
Yeah.
and he's going to make the call, and Tony's going to take it down there with the straight.
Hey, give Andrew credit for at least getting rid of ace-king there.
He just played everything so slowly. He got ace-king suited. Okay, he checked it out of the blind, but in a limped pot, a lot of people would raise there. He checked the flop, and then when somebody bet the turn, he just called.
And to be honest, Vu has played it so straightforward the whole night. Why wouldn't you bet that? You know, the funniest thing is if he bets it hard right on the flop, he probably gets rid of Tony, the straight draw, right? And he probably gets all of Andrew's money. Because he
Absolutely.
doesn't get away from ace-king. Now, as an interesting question, I pose this at you. If you're going to talk about ace-queen versus jacks, obviously it's position dependent.
Right.
But now let's forget about, because you've got to make it a control thing. So let's say you could either have jacks in position and then jacks out of position,
Right.
or ace-queen in position and then ace-queen out of position against the same exact player.
Right.
What would you rather have? That's the question. Because it's not obviously, hey, I would rather have, to be honest with you, I'd probably rather have, king 3 in position than jacks out of position. I always want to be in position.
Right.
And obviously that's
That's
taking
not
that
the point of the question.
Right, exactly. Obviously,
Right.
I'm taking that a little further.
Right.
But if you were to go in the sense of, would you rather have the jacks in and out of position or the ace-queen suited in and out of position? And I said you can go on about this question forever, but to
Right.
me, I had to say if somebody was to stick a gun in my face and make me answer the question, I'd probably go with jacks.
Well, 10, 7, 9 here, and I'll give you an example after this hand why I like the jacks better. Now, a couple people have second pair here. Pot was limped around. And Craig is going to bet here. He's got an open-ended straight draw. He's going to bet 10. And the action looks like Tony called on the button, and the turn is an 8, and Richard called with jack 5. And look at this. Richard's got in trouble because he's hit the gut shot, but Craig's got the nut straight.
Yeah, and that's the kind that we were just talking about that.
Yep.
Don't slow play it now, Craig.
Well, Richard's going to bet. He's got the straight.
Of course. You just don't want an action killer to come out.
He's bet 30.
You don't want the third spade to come out. That might kill your action.
Yep, I would put some money raise in here if I was Craig.
Exactly, especially with jack queen.
Yep. I mean, he's just going to call, Dave.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, he might still get all of Andrew's money.
No.
I mean, he might still get Richard's money, but you never know.
Now, let's see if a spade comes here on the river, and it's exactly what we talked about. Look at this. It's a spade. Now, let's see what happens. Let's see
And
if
they're both pretty deep. I mean,
Yeah. that is
I mean,
it.
when a guy bets into a board like that, doesn't it scream, I have at least 2 pair or set or jack, really?
And
Why
Ri-
wouldn't you put a raise in right there and then?
And Richard's going to bet now. He bets 50. And look at this. Craig's just going to call.
Well, he's scared
And
himself for the
he's
third
scared
spade.
himself. Scared himself.
Oh, come on.
He could have had that whole stack, Dave. He really could have had the whole stack.
I tell you, people lose more money by slow playing things
Oh.
than they really think. It's crazy.
Because, I mean, if Craig makes a little raise, the Jack 5 might come over the top of him.
You don't have to make. I mean, you can even raise it up to $100.
Yeah,
Because the guy's got a jack. What is he going to throw it away?
right. Yeah, I think that's a clear mistake there by Craig. But getting that back to that ace-queen against jacks.
Now you're talking heads up, ace queen versus
well,
jacks.
the other thing, too, was the thread, I think, stated that you were going to see a flop. The other reason why I
That's
like...
fine. Of course
well,
not. I don't
no,
want to see a flop.
But what I'm saying is the other reason why I would like jacks more than ace-queen suited in a no-limit cash game is because I'm more willing probably to call an all-in with jacks than I am with an ace-queen suited.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah,
But in terms of if I'm going to see a flop,
right.
I would probably rather have jacks
Mm-hmm.
in position and out of position than ace queen suited in and out of position. Because ace queen is just, to me, ace queen is more often dominated than
Right.
jacks.
It's one of those hands we talk about. It's dominated all the time.
And then the fact that it's suited, if you're playing heads up, the suited doesn't really make a difference. Maybe it's a 2% edge.
Right. Now we have a raise here by seat 2 and a call on the
Well, there's
button.
ace queen.
Ace queen on suit. And seat 1 had just limped in with pocket 7s, and he's going to call.
And Richard's in there with queen jack. He's badly dominated here.
$60 pot.
And there's the queen. This
Oh,
might get this is
wow.
going to get Richard in trouble.
Yep.
That's what we talk about here.
And Tony's going to bet. He's going to bet 35 into a $60 pot. And let's see what Richard does. And Richard's going to move all in here.
Well,
and in this game, I think Ace-Queen's going to make a call.
Oh, I would imagine
And
so.
he does call.
Yeah.
And Richard is dominated.
Oh, he's almost drawing. He needs
Yeah.
runner, diamonds, or a jack.
And this pot's going to be, well, the turn's a diamond. There's one diamond. It's
Or a
going to have a
9.
straight draw now, too.
Yeah, a 9 or a diamond will do it.
It's gonna
Or
be
jack, obviously.
over a $600 pot, and the river's a 7. That's not going to do it. Ace-Queen takes it down.
Yeah, he picked up a lot of outs there. Any diamond, any 9, any jack. Wow.
But I think that is good analysis about the Ace-Queen against Jacks. Ace-Queen is just so easily, dominated. Whereas with Jacks, you can always have a chance for a race, if you're going to push pre-flop. And Ace-Queen, it's just easily dominated by a lot of
Yeah, I mean,
hands.
now if I'm playing it in a limit hold'em game, and I have to see a flop 6 or 7-handed,
Right.
I'd probably rather run Ace-Queen suited.
Ace-Queen suited, right.
But if I'm heads up, I'm just thinking, God, I mean, if an ace falls and my
Right.
opponent shows strength, does he have ace-king?
Yeah.
Or does he have aces or queens or kings?
Yep.
I don't know where I'm at. Obviously jacks as well can be troublesome because let's say I make a big raise with jacks, which is the occasion.
Yeah.
You make it, and you were to smooth call me. You could be smooth calling with ace queen. You could be smooth calling with ace king. You could also be smooth calling with kings or aces, willing to trap me.
We got a raise here on the button. Andrew with 9-5 off suit. He made it $20. St. John called with ace-10, and High's in there with 5-6 suited. Three-way action here. Ooh, ace-10-9. St. John's got top 2. And everybody checks.
Surprise, surprise.
Turn is a 10, and now St. John turns a full house. And everybody checks again. And the river's a 3rd diamond. And now St. John's going to bet.
45.
And Andrew here. Is he going to make the call here with 9-5? What can he beat? I guess a pure bluff. And St. John's going to take it down. Ace-10 is good. And Dave, I think I'm actually getting confirmation out there on the floor that I believe that I was giving seat 4 a little trouble there about, not moving all in with the 7s. I think he was all in.
Okay.
To me. So there you go. And he was all in
It did
with the
seem
7s.
it did seem odd.
Yeah. And that was the hand with the 7s full. We have an email here from Joshua Green. And this is a pretty difficult question. Pretty abstract question.
Go ahead.
Say you have a bankroll of $20,000. What size no-limit hold'em game should you regularly play to consistently or to continuously turn a profit comfortably? Why don't you take that one on, Dave?
Well, first of all, obviously you've got to be a winning player.
Right.
I don't care how big your bankroll is. But $20,000, to me, you could probably play the... And Isaac's pointing his finger up for a second. Oh, there he is. Wow, look at us. He's always. I'm always like a step behind here. I swear. I think it's because my mom did drugs. I'm not sure. But to me, I would probably assume $20,000 bankroll. I mean, to me, I probably wouldn't want to play more than the $500 game.
Yeah.
Definitely not more than the $500 game.
I mean, somebody posted up, and I'll get to this after.
actually, I would probably say you'd want to play the 3 to 5 game even, wouldn't you?
I gotta tell you,
Consistently?
20,000 is pretty even. I mean, that's almost the minimum that I would sit down at a 20-40 table and do it 40 hours a week with.
Yeah.
I mean, people say, well, you're real conservative with your bankroll, but I mean, we're the ones that have done this, Dave, day in and day out for a couple of years in a brick-and-mortar casino.
Yeah, flop here of ace 9 7
Yep.
4 on the turn. Anybody have an ace? No. I want to say that Andrew's got the best hand with 7-8.
Yep, and it gets checked around, it looks like, again. And the river's a 5 here, but it looks like 7-8 is still good.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And again, when I say that, Dave and I have been doing it for a few years, day in, day out, I'm sure that there are other people that have done it too. And actually, Andrew's going to make a bet here. He's going to bet 15.
Wow.
But, those types of questions usually come from people that are wondering and haven't done it before.
Right, and you have to understand, obviously, that, poker, even the best players in the world, only have a small percentage edge over bad players.
Right.
And in the end, you've got to realize that you're going to go through bad times. You're going to go through a bad week, a bad month, even maybe a bad 3 or 4 month period. And you've got to be able to weather that storm.
Well, and the other thing, too, is actually I've seen it written, and it's pretty good guideline that, a good kind of gauge up a bankroll is to have 6 months of whatever your living expenses are saved up, plus maybe 300 to 500 big bets.
Okay,
know?
yeah. I mean, obviously, the question also gauged based on, are you a professional poker player? Do you have another job? Or are you relying on your poker earnings to support yourself?
Now, seat 3 there, we got a flash of him. He's a new player. His name is Emmanuel. So welcome Emmanuel to the game.
So what happened to Richard? Did he just leave? Or did he go broke and that was the end of it?
It looked like he left. We get a raise here by Craig. He's going to raise it up to 25 with King Jack off suit. It looks like he's going to take it down.
I mean, the more I think about it, I'm going, okay, $20,000 bankroll. I think that'd be comfortably you could play the 3 to 5 game, which is a 5-5 blind game. And if you were to buy in for $500, you could bring, let's say 2 to 3 buy-ins to the casino per day. And if you were to lose 2 buy-ins, you would be okay for 20 straight days, which is obviously pretty bad.
Right.
And that might even be a little more aggressive than you should be.
And people have to understand that when you're playing poker professionally, full-time, without any other source of income, your bankroll is your tool. And the thing is, too, is that you've got to understand, you need to have enough money so that if you take a bad streak, it's not going to affect your play because you're going to start playing scared.
Yeah.
Now, seat 5 here, he's going to raise it up to 20 with ace-king suited.
I think we've got a B somewhere near the table.
Seat 6 is going to call here with ace-10 suited. And Walter's going to call. Queen-10 suited. Seat 9 is in there. We need to see his cards.
That's only a $20 raise, and maybe, Walter's trying to see if he can win a big one. And once in a while, Walter will do that in position.
Again, we need to see seat 9's cards. And we got another ace-10 in there.
Now, I'll tell you right off the bat, Walter's not looking to hit a queen or a 10. He's looking to hit something big.
$500 pot. Look at this. All the 10s are accounted for. The other guy's got jack 10. 4-8 deuce here on the flop. It hit no one. And the $100 pot gets checked around.
Well, there's the queen.
Yep.
Let's see if Walt gets himself in trouble here. I mean, he actually has the best hand, but... Now, it gets checked to him, so now obviously he's going to bet. He's got position. And he bets 80 into a $100 pot. It's not a little, not a little pansy bet. It's a real bet.
I might get myself in trouble when I have the best hand there on the turn.
Well, you think about it. I for a second, I thought somebody had ace-queen.
Look at this. Daniel makes a call to a gut shot to the 9.
With one card to go,
Is he making a move here? Now, Craig's got the nut flush draw.
And now you wonder if he's thinking that he's priced himself in.
It was an $80 pot, and he's going to make the call.
Wow.
So the pot's now $340 going to the river.
Well, Daniel needs a 9. Craig just needs either a ace or a heart.
Right. And the river's a 6. And probably Walt's going to check this one down, I'd imagine. Yep. And he's going to take it down there with the queen 10. Now, Walt didn't get tricky there on the flop. He didn't bet the flop. He checked it, and then he took the card and he hit the
and he still got paid off.
Yep.
And we're losing a couple of players there. It looks like Craig and Daniel are both getting up.
Actually, Daniel is just getting up there.
Oh, okay, Craig's using the phone, I hear. And like you were saying about bankroll, obviously, you got to think about it. If you have a $20,000 bankroll and you get a bad month or a bad month and a half, you can very easily lose 25, 30, even 50% of your bankroll if you're playing a high enough game.
Yep.
And now if you start thinking about, I use my bankroll to pay my rent and eat and stuff like that, well, then suddenly you're playing scared. And, try playing poker scared. It just doesn't work.
Well, I think someone on the thread last night said, I want to come down here to the 5100 game. I got a $40,000 roll, and I think that that's adequate. Now, that game only goes 3 hours a week. But do you really think...
What was the bankroll for that one?
40,000.
For the game last night?
You can sit down and play this game all the time for $40,000?
I mean, if you're a recreational player, like a guy like Ed, yeah. I mean,
right.
His bankroll and what he lives on is completely different.
Right. But someone who does it,
I mean, bankroll is somewhat irrelevant unless you're a professional poker player.
Well, that's definitely true. Yeah.
I mean, if you're just a recreational player, there's no bearing on it.
Now the pot was limped around. Vu's going to bet into an open-ended straight draw.
We got a couple of queens out there,
and we're going to see a raise here by High there on the button. Is that High or is that a different player?
That's High.
High. Yeah. Queen 9. He's going to raise.
And Emmanuel quickly gets rid of queen 5, doesn't even think about it.
So the raise there.
And that's a mistake that we often see in the big games where people are get stuck in there with top pair, no kicker.
Raised to 55, and Vu calls. Turns a 3, no help. And it looks like if that's all that high has, he's probably going to push it here. Looks like maybe another 50.
At this point, you wonder, you almost priced yourself in.
Yeah.
This is just a pure math question.
I think the pot's about 180. It's 50 to call. You're at a open-ended straight draw here. You probably don't have the odds to make this call with one card to come.
And all this is a math question. Somebody would go, well, what if you're trying to read the guy and you think the guy's bluffing? Well, you only have 9 high.
Right.
Clearly 9 high is not going to be good.
Yeah. And he folds and he takes it down. We got a new player coming in as seat 9. Kim.
I mean, to me, if you're a professional poker player and you're going to play in that game, last night's game,
right.
Man, I mean, I would think that you would need at least, I would say, $250,000.
Right. Yeah, I think that's I mean, again, all this is really abstract, Dave. It's
just
really
what you're
difficult.
comfortable playing with.
Right.
But I mean, you've got to have money where if you have a bad, I mean, I've seen players and I know people that very good poker players that go on a bad month, have bad 3 months, and man, in a game like that, you can easily lose $150,000 in a bad month.
Right. We got a raise here by Vu in seat 5. He's got king, queen of diamonds.
Pocket 10s with Daniel, though.
He just called, and he's in position.
Well, I don't mind that if you're in position here.
$25 raise. And here we go.
Well, not a very good flop.
Well, let's see if Vu continues to bet here. And he's going to bet. He's got overcards, a gut shot straight draw, and backdoor diamonds. And it looks like Kim is going to fold. Yep. Email here from David Stanfield. He said that there was a good article in Canadian Poker Player. So I don't know if you can do. I mean, we have the URL here. I'm not going to read it out here, and we don't. Unfortunately, when people give us links during the show, we don't. Unfortunately, don't have the time to read it. But thanks for the thoughts.
But he wanted to add this article to the debate.
Yeah.
I'll read the article after the show, though, for sure.
Right.
Because it's obviously you can debate this all day long.
Yeah.
To me, the funny thing is that when CW Siggy sent it to me, Mason actually made it out like it was like a no-brainer that Ace Queen suited was better than Jacks.
Yep.
Like a no-brainer, like, oh, these guys are so dumb.
Right.
And I'm like, really? Wow, okay. I mean, it just certainly didn't seem that obvious to me.
We have a raise here by Tony with 6-8 offsuit, and I believe Emmanuel smooth call with queen 10 suited. And Emmanuel's got top 2 pair.
Oh, not bad, huh?
Yeah.
And nobody has anything.
And it looks like Tony checked and Emmanuel bet, and he shows it, and he takes it down.
Take it down.
Look at this post by Russ Fox on 2+2. Slow playing equals death in restricted buy and no limit hold'em.
And I'll even go further to say slow playing equals less earnings in a big no limit game.
Right. I mean, you're sitting there with the I mean, let's think about that hand with the queen jack against the jack. Anytime you have the nut straight when there's a 4-liner out there, I'm jamming that pot so much. Because who's going to lay down the other straight? You've got the better straight.
Well, it's like one of those times where if the board reads something like 6 deuce deuce, and you bet, and somebody calls you, and it's a rainbow board, well, you know that you can almost overbet it next time because the guy probably has a deuce. If you have a set of 6s, that is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's nothing else out there.
He had flopped a full house.
Right. And like you said, if it's a 4-liner, the likelihood is this guy might have a jack.
We had a raise here. By high there with queen 10 of spades, and Kim called with pocket 5s. Kim's going to check, and I don't think he's going to get involved here. Pocket 5s. Yep. High's going to take it down.
I mean, the only thing I think about when I think of ace-queen versus jacks, the only thing I'm wondering is, obviously the ace-queen can also use the king as an overcard. Okay?
Well, I think that was part of the debate, that with jacks there's going to be... I don't exactly know what the percentage.
I think it's a little under 50%, like 48%.
Of one overcard coming on the flop.
The problem is, though, is the ace-queen doesn't necessarily know if it's good either.
Right.
I mean, how do you know you're not up against ace-king?
Yeah. You don't know if you're up against ace-king if a king flops or if an ace flops. The only really good flop you like is a queen.
Right. And in that case, you're not going to make any money because the jacks should be able to get away from it.
Right.
And if you get called, there's a good chance you're up against aces or kings.
We had a raise here, I believe, by Vu with ace-8 offsuit. Now he's hit a pair. Seat 6 and seat 2 are in there. And now Vu is not going to check this flop. He's going to bet.
Well, on the button, you've got to take that. You got a pair. Everybody's checked to you. Why not?
Craig quickly mucks queen 10. But remember, we saw Vu sometimes check there when he didn't have anything. But this time he follows through.
Well, that time he actually has a pair. This time.
Well, Vu is, well, he's got bottom pair there with the ace, yeah.
I mean, to me, if you have a pair and it gets checked, generally speaking, if I have a piece of the flop at all and everybody checks to me, I'm going to fire once.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to check raise, fine, I'll get rid of it. This is interesting. We're getting a new poster here. Somebody I don't really recognize. Babo Fitos, the coach. Always like new posters on 2+2.
It's interesting. I wasn't all that familiar with 2+2, but it seems like other people can nickname you. It's not up to you how.
Yeah, you think I've nicknamed myself Bart Jr.?
How about me, Stop Bet Aficionado?
I would rather that. Anything. If anybody's listening, you can actually change my nickname to anything. Anything. Nothing personal, Bart.
Now it looks like seat 2 here, or seat 1 is raised with pocket 5s, and seat 2 is called with 5-6 offsuit. So the blind raises with pocket 5s, ace 10-6, and let's see if Kim follows through here. He's going to bet.
35.
Bets 35. Well, Tony's got a pair, and he's going to make the call, and he has the best hand. Turns a club. Let's see if he uses that club. But Mr. Kim's going to move all in, and boy, what can you beat if you're 6-5? Yeah, he's going to fold now. And good aggressive play is going to take it down there for Kim in seat 9.
Now that Kim obviously is not Mr. Kim. We've got two different players here. Mr. Kim is somewhat of a crazy player, action player. Plays high limits.
And we have an email here from Dan P., and I'll get to it in a second. He actually emailed us after the show last night, so we didn't get a chance to read it, and then he emailed us again. Button's going to move over there to Walter in seat 8.
Did you get the 8-ball at Walmart?
King Jack in seat 4, King 10 in seat 5, and Vu's going to raise it up with King 10.
Yep, looks like he's making it 25 there.
Well, by raising it kind of late position, he's buying himself the button. He gets to act last now in all of the rounds.
Well, Andrew's tightened up since the beginning of the show. He's got King Jack offsuit.
He won a big hand, so now he's got some money.
And he's not going to play it out of position there, Dave. Again, a hand that's pretty easily dominated.
Yeah.
And Vu is going to take it down.
Interesting email from Dan P. I know in the past you talked about what limit one needs to play in order to be a full-time player. You mentioned that 36 should be the minimum limit.
Let me halt you right there.
Go ahead.
I think that was mentioned, but that's definitely not an absolute. When we say we like to shoot for one big bet per hour. So if you can play 15-30 successfully, some people can live off of $30 an hour. But we were saying that's, or 20-40. But it's very difficult to do that.
I think 20-40 is the minimum. For me, at least, that's my opinion.
Right.
20-40 is
well, you're married, you have a mortgage, $30 an hour. It's not that much.
No,
right?
20-40, those $40 an hour.
Right. That's what I'm saying, 15-30,
right,
$30 an hour.
I mean, $40 an hour full-time is, you're talking about $100,000 a year job.
Ace 4-7 here with a couple of hearts. Pot was limped around. Emmanuel's got top pair. And High has a flush draw. Well, Emmanuel's going to bet here.
75.
And Mr. Kim has got bottom 2 pair there.
Yeah. Now let's see if Emmanuel gets himself in trouble here.
$15 bet and a raise to 75 on the button.
I love playing it fast there.
Well, it's bottom 2 pair with 2 hearts.
Now, what does High do here with 6-10 of hearts?
Well, to a bet and a raise here, he's not really getting. What is he going to call 75? He knows he's only going to see one card.
Well, he's got no money. He's almost got to move in or throw it away.
Now, this pot was limped around. So what does Doyle Brunson say about an unraised pot here?
Same thing as my mama says. Don't go broke in an unraised pot. That's what Mama Tuck me says.
You have no idea what Kim holds. And he's played it fast, and he has bottom 2 pair.
He could have anything, like you say.
Yep.
He could have ace-4. He could have 5-6 of hearts. Who knows? But, I mean, I'll put it this way. If you're Emmanuel, it's pretty much one move or the other. It's either fold or you're moving all in, right?
Right.
He's actually got a lot of outs. I mean, only a jack and ace, and obviously you can pair whatever the turn is. You can also get a runner heart because he has the ace of hearts in his hand.
And he's going to move all in. He moves all in, and Kim is going to call him. We're looking at about a $300 to $400 pot. And here we go to the turn. Turn is a 3, so he needs to dodge an ace, a 3, or a jack here. And the river is a 4, and Kim's going to make a full house there.
Yeah, a 4 is not going to help.
And now in these restricted bind games in the 200 and the 3 to 5 day, we don't allow running the cards multiple times. And somebody either emailed us or posted last night that, boy, that's kind of a downer for the show sometimes. But at that level in this game, if we want to set big no-limit games down, it's just a part of the game. I don't think we can go out and tell them, well, no deals when you're on the show.
Oh, no,
I don't know
yeah.
if the players would respond well to that.
No, yeah, I mean, it's tough enough sometimes to get these players in the game. If you,
Right.
if you start switching up the rules for them,
Right,
it's just not
right.
fair. And occasionally, very rarely, would they allow running board here. One time I was in the game and I had like $1,600, and
Yeah.
another guy had like $1,600, and they actually let us run it more than once.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Because there was so much money in the
Yeah.
pot. But they don't want, the casino doesn't want to slow the game down.
Right,
any
right.
further.
For a $180 all
Guy,
Right, right.
guy running it multiply there.
Time on. 25 more.
Oh, and we didn't get to the rest of that
Yeah.
question, which we'll get at the end of the night, at the end of the show here. I mean, excuse me, at the end of the hand.
Yeah.
Sorry. Dave, I've been talking since 8:30 this morning.
I know, you've been
4 or 5
nonstop.
episodes of voiceover work for the LA poker scene. Surprised I still have a voice. 5-way action here, limped around. King, Queen, 5. Well, St. John has top pair. He's going to bet.
Before the 20.
I mean, it's funny, though. People always say, oh, I want to avoid the pros. I mean, if you play below 1530, below 2040, generally you're going to avoid the pros.
Look at this. Seat 7, he's made it 20, but high has got a set. And let's see how he's going to play it. He's going to raise with the set.
And I got to tell you, to me, that represents strength. This play, watch this play. The announce of a raise, the call, and then you reach back for more chips. It always seems like somebody has a hand. We've been watching a lot of No Limit Hold'em.
Right.
Doesn't it seem like that's not a bluff?
And St. John says, you're on a draw? But I don't think St. John's going to call here with the weak king.
Yeah, what can he beat? And he throws it away. Nice lay down.
So anyways, back to that email. The rest of that
Okay.
email.
What about no limit? What blinds can I play in order to make a decent living?
And then, and the issue with that too is I've had this, I've seen these questions about the internet play, because on the internet the blind size is relatively small compared to your max buy-in. Say I think of 400 on the Party Network. I think the blinds are 2-4 or something, or
Yeah.
or 1-2. I don't know off the top of my head, but
It's
so you
funny.
can't really do it by big bets or
Yeah.
100.
It's funny. To me, the best way to figure out what you need to make is you've got to figure out, okay, first of all, make a budget for yourself, how much money you need to make a month to survive,
Right.
and to have a little bit extra, plus survival. And then on top of that, just keep some good records. Because the whole internet, the whole restricted buy-in, no-limit game, the whole internet playing poker is relatively new.
Yep.
In the grand scheme of things, you got to keep good records. Figure out what's good for you. And look at this. Emmanuel's in there with 2 pair already, 9-4.
But Craig is going to bet here. He's got a gut. Is that double gutter there?
No.
No, just gut shot to the 5. And I don't think that Emmanuel's in. Oh, he is in the hand. And he's going to check raise.
Yeah, he's got 9-4.
Yep. And Andrew is going to fold.
And I imagine Craig's going to get rid of this too. Now, look at Craig's going to call, going for the gut shot.
Wow. So here we go to the turn. And the turn's a 6, so he picks up a pair now.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel checks. And Craig says, no, I'm not betting. I check behind you. And the river's a 6.
Wow.
And now Emmanuel's going to bet. He only has really, in essence, a pair of 9s, but Craig's made trip 6s.
Yeah, he's got a pair of 9s. He's got 2 pair, 9s and 6s with a 4 kicker.
Now he has bet here, and now Craig is going to raise. It was a $30 bet, and Craig raises.
75.
He's going to make it 75. Now, Craig, we haven't seen him bluff at all, but Emmanuel's going to make a quick call.
Yeah, sometimes that's like a frustration call because his 2 pair has been counterfeited.
Yep. Craig's going to take it down there.
That's correct.
Again, probably a $250 to $300 pot.
But okay, so back to that last question in terms of what game to play. My best thing is keep records.
Right.
See how much, and I'm not saying like not 100 hours, not 500 hours. A good 1,000 hours. See how you're doing. See how much money you're making.
The beautiful thing about online is you've got like programs like Poker Tracker and these tracking programs that actually do it for you. down to everything, by the month, positional stats, hand stats.
Well, that's the best way to do it.
Session stats.
That way you can figure out exactly how much you're making per hour.
Mm-hmm.
You can figure out how many hours a week you want to play,
Right.
and then you can figure out how much money you need to make.
So we're going to look at another chip count here. So Walter is up $100 from the last chip count. He's just won one hand. Tony in seat 2, look at that. He's at 980 there. I think he's up. St. John's up a little bit since the last chip count. And Vu, he's down, Dave.
Yeah, he's down a little bit there.
Yeah.
Taking a couple of hits. Looks like he's actually stacking his chips, too. Not sure if he's getting up or not. And he is going to get up. Take his money elsewhere.
Well, let's see. He did just take his big blind in seat 5. It looks like seat 6 got up, Craig.
Yeah, we've got a tournament that starts at 7:15 p.m.,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of his players are going to play in that one. It's kind of a nooner night, they call it. It's kind of a small buy-in. I believe it's a $100 buy-in tournament tonight, no limit hold'em. Usually get about 100 to 150 entries into it. First place is $6 or $7 grand. Not
Right.
bad. The second part of the question is actually really interesting, and normally we don't spend this much time on an email, but this email is really interesting. Thank you, Danny in Toronto. And I'd like you to answer this because it really can go far. A lot of people wonder this. We'll get to it in a second.
Now we got a raise here to 20.
A lot of Broadway cards there, huh?
Seat 5's going to raise out of the small blind with King Jack offsuit to 20.
And seat 3 has King Jack suited.
Yep. And seat 4 muck to King, so there's only one left. Here we go. And it's the Case King.
There you go. And it's all diamonds.
Well, Vu's got the Jack of Diamonds in his hand. King 4-10.
And not a bad flop for Vu.
And he's going to bet.
Now, what does Emmanuel do with this hand? He's got top pair, but no diamond in his hand.
He's going to fold. And Tony's going to move all in here with a pair. He doesn't have that much.
Yeah, we actually reversed that.
Excuse me. Yeah,
Yeah.
Emmanuel moves all. Well, Emmanuel's got the King Jack. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So Vu has got a redraw. They both have the same hand.
Yeah, Vu's in good shape here, huh?
Yeah. So here we go to the turn.
Needs a diamond and only a diamond, obviously. Otherwise, it's going to be a chop.
Turns the deuce. This is a free roll.
Don't you love free rolls?
Yeah. And the river's an ace, so
And
they're
now
going to chop it up.
And once again, remember, this is a live show, folks. We are live, unedited, unscripted, so obviously I make mistakes, Bart makes mistakes. Even once in a while, Isaac will make a mistake. Very rare.
But I don't think that was Isaac's mistake, though.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
No. It was
Do
the
you really
dog.
want me to point out whose mistake it was? Anyway, okay.
I know how sensitive Isaac
Right,
gets
the last
sometimes.
part of this question, actually, he says, discuss running bad. I have been running bad the last 2 months, approximately 250 hours, which is not very many hours. What would be an expected amount of time to run bad?
Well, I guess this is just the influx of the abstract question here tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the expected time to run bad, there's no expected amount of time.
Right.
It's because every hand is completely independent of the last hand.
Right.
Every day is independent of the last day.
Yeah.
The cards have no memory. You have a memory now. And if you're running bad, the best thing I can tell you to do is evaluate your own play. Okay? Really be honest with yourself. Start keeping track of what hands you're losing money on, what hands you're playing, and so forth. And be honest with yourself and look at it. Okay, am I losing money? Am I running bad because I'm just getting unlucky and I'm getting drawn out on?
Yeah.
Or am I playing bad? Am I starting to play a little scared poker? Am I getting in there with some inferior hands? Am I chasing instead of, being chased?
Yeah.
And so forth. Because oftentimes if I'm running bad, so to speak, in quotes, I start looking through and I start thinking about it. I go, you know what? I'm not running bad. I'm just playing like a schmuck.
Six-way action here. It was limped around. Deuce 8 Jack on the flop. And looks like Emmanuel's going to bet here with King Jack. Pretty straightforward. He's going to bet 20. And seat number 5 there, Vu. Has he made a raise here with second pair? Yeah, he's going to raise it, Dave. Vu, very aggressive player. Raises up with 4-8. And now Emmanuel's going to move all in again.
Well, he doesn't have much money. I mean,
Yeah.
where's he going to go with top pair?
Well, now what is Vu going to do?
Well, now it's just a math question again. You look at it and go, okay, you put the guy in a jack. There's no draw out there. I mean, he could have 9-10.
And he folds.
But, I mean, how many times have people, friends of mine have come to casino and go, man, I am just running so bad. I'm doing this. And I'm going, well, hey, sometimes the cards even out. Don't worry about it. Keep playing smart. Play one hand at a time.
Right.
And then I'll sit down and I'll play with them. And I'll watch them for a second. I'll go, man, you're just playing bad. That's why.
Right.
You're starting to play a little more passive.
Right.
We noticed Joe win the other night when he was down like 8 or 9 grand at one point. Suddenly he started playing it really passively.
Yeah.
You know, and you gotta really be honest with yourself.
Now we have new players in seat 5 and seat 6. And we'll get their names as soon as we can get them. I think that seat 6 is Kevin, Dave. And the pot
Yeah,
is
I
limped
think
around here.
I think seat 6 actually was the chip leader on Tuesday, but I wasn't here, so hopefully somebody knows his name.
Okay.
We'll find out in a second for you.
9-6 deuce here, limped around. And the mystery seat 6 is going to bet. He's going to bet here with King 9. He has top pair. Flop is 9-6 deuce. He's got King 9. Andrew's got ace 8, and he's going to let it go.
Yeah. Take it down.
And it is Kevin there in seat 6.
Thank you, Danny, though, from Toronto for your email. We do appreciate them. I got to tell you, I'm looking at this 2+2 avatar for, what's the guy's name? Most Smooth.
Well, that's what my eyes have been on for the last 5-10 minutes since he posted. Can the host please rope some hot Asian chicks into the game? If they want ratings, that's the only true way. Believe me, I'm with you, buddy.
Yeah, we're not, try to stay, we don't want to be racist here. Any hot chick will
That's
do.
right, right. Now, C5's got pocket aces here, and he's going to raise. And 2 of the other aces were out. And Action's going to come back over there to C3. He's got ace 10 of clubs. He had limped. And he's going to call. All the aces are dead.
Yeah, he's in bad shape.
Yeah.
Well, at least the aces are dead. He's not going to flop an ace. There's a 10 now.
Well, Queen Deuce 10. It's a $50 pot. Check.
There's Kenneth in seat 5 now.
He's going to bet 30. And look at this. Emmanuel's going to check raise all in with the ace 10.
Well, he's in real bad shape.
Oh, wow. And Kenneth's going to call. And Emmanuel needs a 10.
And only a 10. There's no club out there.
Well, I guess he could catch some sort of running straight, right? The turn is a 9. Running straight to chop. And the river's a 10! Oh, yeah!
Oh, man. What a beat.
Wow!
Oh, that's awful. Look at that.
Oh,
Manuel's going to get up. Now, if you're going to play like that, you might need a significantly higher bankroll.
really?
And hey, and when you're running bad, you got to start thinking about it. Going, okay, well, am I playing more like Emmanuel on that hand, or am I playing more like Kenneth? You know.
Well, he was short, Dave. Maybe he figured, well, his ace 10 was good, although it wasn't.
No, obviously, hey, if the guy has ace king, you're in the lead.
Yeah. And a couple questions here on 2+2. How did Ed end up finishing? I think that game eventually broke right after the broadcast. He went over to 10-20 no limit, right, Dave?
He's a great. I mean, I actually went over and talked to him for a little while. We were actually talking books and so forth like that. Some great literature of the of our society. But we were talking about the game, and he was just, I mean, such a nice guy. I mean, such a class individual. Loses $20,000, and he was just laughing with me and smiling and stuff. He goes, whatever.
Yeah.
Bad day. I'll get it back next week. And if he doesn't get it back, he doesn't even care. But he did win about $3,000 in the 10-20 game.
So he was down about 17,000.
Yeah, 17 for the night.
And again, like it's all relative, Dave. I mean, if you're making a lot of money, that might be for him losing $17.
Right, exactly.
I mean, if he's making $1,000 more a year than I do, that might be like me. I'm kind of dicking around with $17, right? You know.
A little raise there from seat 6.
Yeah, that's Kevin.
Kevin, okay, ace king he's got.
Yeah, $30. And Emmanuel, after that beat, he's got queen 10 off suit. Let's see if
he
he
calling?
makes the call.
I don't play with you.
No, he's going to fold. And
he's out.
Kevin shows the ace king. Now
And that's another question, actually. When you're trying to think of what your bankroll should be for a certain game, it should also matter of what is your style of living.
Right. Well, that's what I said. Living expenses, 6 month living expenses.
But I'm saying if you're a 19-year-old kid just out of college, or a 22-year-old kid just out of college, and you need $1,200 to live a month.
Right.
Hey.
Right.
But if you own a mansion and you've got a $4,000 mortgage,
right.
Hey, it might be different.
Right. Of course.
Right.
But it's going to move over here to seat 1.
I like that. Yeah. If you live in Manhattan and you pay $8,000 a month for some like little shoebox.
Right. Now we get a raise here by seat 5, Kenneth.
Got nines, huh?
It's going to be over there to the small blind there. He's going to mock him. We're not going to see a flop. We get another email here from Steve Kozak. He said, "Hi guys, I stumbled onto this show this week, and I've really been enjoying it. While I enjoy watching the tourneys on TV, I'm predominantly an online low-stakes, no-limit hold'em cash player, and I'm always looking to improve my play. Unfortunately, almost all the books and DVDs out there are geared towards tournament play. Watching a live game with your commentary is really proving to be an entertaining and educational tool. Keep up the great work, guys." Well, thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate it.
Yep.
And that's obviously one of the reasons why this game is great. You know, it's one thing to have a whale game where we've got, you know, people buying in for $10,000, $15,000.
Right.
But for most of our viewers, you know, who aren't sitting on a nest egg of a couple $100,000,
Yeah.
this is the kind of game they're playing more often than not.
Right. And actually, I wanted to clarify something because we have another email here from Tom Martin. I think I put out some incorrect, inaccurate information last night.
How dare
Wouldn't
you.
be the first time. In order to qualify for the big fat weekly free roll on Poker Blue, you have to deposit a minimum of $100 and then play 4 hours on any 1-2 limit hold'em table or higher, or any no limit hold'em.
Okay, cool.
I didn't know that there was a deposit minimum.
Yeah, Kathy Colbury actually won the free roll about 3 weeks ago. She was really excited. Won a $12,000 free roll into one of her many events she was going to play.
Check here, check all the way. Ace Jack is good. So again, I mean, you're looking at Andrew. He just dropped about 10,000 in one hand, and now he's playing the 200 game. So I don't know if that was a significant portion of his bankroll that he lost that day, but it's interesting, definitely to note.
Yeah, and I know some players. I mean, Phil Ivey actually used to say, he goes, it's okay. Barry Greenstein used to say, it's okay to take a shot at the bigger game.
Right.
And I agree. I mean, hey, if you're going to play, if you're planning on playing the $5,000 game as a professional, and you want to play it 30, 40 hours a week, obviously
Right.
you have to have the appropriate bankroll. But if you're just going to take one shot in it,
Right. Well, that's
hey,
different.
it's a different thing, obviously.
Limped around here, ace, ace, deuce, and Kevin's got ace 4.
Ace.
Gets checked around, turns a jack. Let's see if Kevin puts some money in. He's going to bet now. He bets 15. But once the jack comes out, his kicker no longer plays.
He's actually probably more appropriate, more possibly get some action from Andrew if he'd bet the flop,
Yeah.
you know?
Ace 4. I had to draw. If I play, I had to pick up the diamond.
Thanksgiving coming up.
Yeah,
You going to be in town?
I am indeed.
Yeah? You know, I'm kind of psyched. I've got a smoked turkey
Really?
coming in. Yeah.
Smoked turkey.
Smoked turkey. Smoked. I'm so psyched.
Have you ever tried to deep fry a turkey? I think Shirley and I had this conversation last week.
I have not.
Yeah. Supposedly it's...
Supposedly my wife wants to order one, though. She's heard about it on Oprah or something like that. She's like, hey, we can order it from Texas. I go, order it from Texas?
Limp here in the cutoff and a raise here by Kenneth in seat 5 with Queen 9 of hearts. He's going to make it 15 to go.
He's going to take it down.
And
Actually, no, he's
Andrew's
not. I'm
gonna
sorry.
call with King 5 offsuit.
There you go.
So here we go to the flop. Heads up. 8-5-3.
Well, Andrew's picked up a little piece of it.
He's going to bet. He's going to bet 10. Kenneth's going to play a little cat and mouse. He's going to raise. Raise to 35. And let's see what and Andrew's going to get rid of it.
Yeah, nice play by Kenneth. Playing position there. Take it away from him. You know, and after Thanksgiving, I'm not sure what you do, but one of my favorite things to do after Thanksgiving is to shop for Christmas.
The day after is the busiest shopping day of
it's
the year.
busiest. I mean, you can go to the mall and stuff, but that's hell. You know a better way to do it? You can sign up for the archives. Eat your own home. You don't have to go to the malls.
Absolutely.
No need to go.
Absolutely. You can also eat a big meal and then come down to the bike and play in our limit turkey shoot tournament.
That's
$100. $100 limit hold'em tournament. Thursday, November 24th.
Only $100 buy-in. Not
Yeah.
bad at all.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, the archives, what is it, $14.95 a month?
Gets you, access to all of the saved action.
Crazy. I mean, Barry Greenstein, Greg Raymer. Makes a great gift, really.
4-way action here. 4-7-7. Looks like trip 7's over there for seat 6. But Walt's going to come out and bet here.
Walt, I forgot he was even playing.
And Kevin's going to raise immediately.
Walt just looks at him, but he's got nothing, so.
Walt folds. And the button's going to move over here to seat somewhere, Dave. I can't see where it's at. There it is. Seat 7. Looks like we got a seat open here. A couple seats open. One seat open.
Bart, are you a fan of pumpkin pie?
I am.
Are you?
Indeed. Yes, I love pumpkin
I hear
pie.
the pumpkin pie here is actually really good.
Really?
Yeah. I love it myself.
Wow. Limp here.
Supposedly we make it fresh here every day.
Wow. Limped around.
Pretty amazing.
3 aces here represented, it looks like. 5-5-8 here on the flop.
Everybody's missed. Ace 10 still good, huh?
Turn is a 6.
Ace 10 still good.
15.
Well, now Kenneth's going to bet, figuring he's got the best hand. He open limped there and, cut off -1. And he's going to take it down with the ace 10. I love turkey, Dave.
Do you?
It's one
Big
of my
turkey fan?
favorite meats. Yep.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is actually one of my favorite holidays. I mean, I happen to love it.
Yep.
You watch football all day, you go in the backyard, you have a catch, you eat, and then you sleep. I mean, what a great it's like, some man invented that holiday.
Right.
Without a doubt. Football, sleep, and food.
Limp. St. John's going to limp. This game is kind of tightened up a little bit here.
No better place to enjoy Thanksgiving than at the Bicycle Casino.
That's right. Come down, play a little poker.
I'm pretty sure the bike will be giving out turkey dinners to anybody seated at that night.
Set of 7s here for Kim.
45.
And he looks like he bet right in here, David, an unraised pot. And
A couple of diamonds out there. Do you really want to play it tricky? He takes it down.
he's played it pretty straightforward. That's a good-looking dealer there, Dave, huh? Bin?
Bin,
Yeah.
she's a cutie. Cute as a button.
Yeah. She's actually been on, I think, all of the episodes that were ever filmed here of WPT events.
Well, she's an excellent dealer.
Yeah.
Really
So if you ever
is.
see, legends from years ago, years past, and, when they've done the ladies' events, she's always there.
Yeah.
Very comfortable in front of the camera. Oh, it looks like he's got an ace-king over here in the small blind for seat 1. And he's going to check it. And here we go to the flop.
4 ways.
Jack 8-3. Looks like Kevin's got an 8 there. But, and High actually has ace-jack over there, seat 1, not... And he checked it. And it looks like seat number 6, Kevin, bets with the 8, and High's going to check raise with ace-jack.
Pretty straightforward, huh?
Manuel's got a gut shot there to the 9.
Surprised that you go to check raise there. I mean, how can you count on somebody betting that? Pretty passive table.
So, yeah, right now it is. And he gets rid of it. And High's going to take it down.
Once again, we are live at the bike, folks. We're watching No Limit Hold'em game. Blinds are 3 and 5. I'm David Tuckman, here with Bart Hansen.
Yep.
You can reach us by emailing us at liveatthebike.com, or you can click onto 2plus2.com and go to our live thread.
Forums, Hold'em, mid, and high limit, no limit Hold'em section.
There you go.
No limit and pot limit Hold'em section. Wait, when's the last time you seen a pot limit, Hold'em cash game spread here in the U.S.?
We actually had during the Legends of Poker during August. I
Yeah.
played a pot limit mix game.
Oh.
We had pot limit Hold'em, pot limit Omaha, and a couple other mixed games in there. And that was a lot of fun.
Got a raise here by seat 7, ace-10 off suit, and he's going to take it down. You can see how, bringing some of those action players out of the game is kind of taking the steam out of this game a little bit.
Yeah, well, sometimes, like a cash game, it really, there's an ebb and a flow to it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll pick up, and then it'll slow down. And as a player, the best players adapt accordingly,
For rabbit hunting.
Buttons moved over there to seat number 3. Pocket aces here. And that's Kevin, and he just limped in here with the aces. Again, though, are you going to necessarily count on somebody to raise? Look at this. Seat 1 limps in with ace-jack. And no one's gonna put any money in here. I don't think I would limp in with a big pocket pair in early position here on this table right now.
Well, this is the kind of table to me you wanted that mini raise in position.
20.
King 5 deuce. So he was under the gun with aces, and what a bad flop for a couple of black aces, all hearts.
Now the ace jack, I don't think he had a heart in his hand. He does when he throws it away.
Yeah. So.
And aces are going to escape this one, I believe.
Yeah.
Interesting email here from Bernie Makatange.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave and Bart, love your show and commentary. Quick question: when you play at the bike, is it clear to you guys who the pros are and who the rec players are? Recreational players, that is. I'm planning on a trip there soon and don't want to get raped. Thanks. And my advice to you, obviously, if you play in a casino, one casino a lot, obviously, you get to know who the regulars
bluntly.
are and who the recreational players are, obviously. But let's say you go to a casino and you don't know the players. Let's say, Bart and I go to Bellagio or so forth, another place. There are some clues that I look for to see if a player is a professional, or whether it's professional or not, basically whether a player is a good player or whether a player is not such a good player. And I know you do too. You have any clues to somebody to quickly figure out if a player you're playing against is good or bad?
Well, let's take a look at flop here. Get into that after the hand. Queen 5-3. Doesn't look like it hit anybody. The turn here is a 4.
Yeah, so look at that, straight for a seat 4.
Andrew and he didn't bet it.
Nope.
And now seat 6 is going to bet with a pair of 10s. The board reads Queen 5-3, 4-10, and Andrew's going to raise.
35.
And again, why would you trap in this game?
He actually didn't trap there. He checked the turn on the button.
Yeah, check the turn on the button. Why would you trap in this game? You can't necessarily think that anyone's going to bet out.
Yeah.
And
Well, he
Kevin's
did
gonna
have
fold.
position, so he could have bet the river anyway.
Yeah,
But he doesn't even get paid off.
shows it.
Oh,
He shows it.
Give me 500 in chips.
Well, these are pretty small little tells, Dave. But
Yeah.
I always think, and we've said it in the show before, in a limit game, if you're playing with a structure where it's a 2-4 chip structure and somebody folds in the small blind, as opposed to automatically completing, that might be a slight tell. It's not doesn't necessarily mean that they're any type of player.
How about if somebody limps in, first player to enter the pot, and limps in from the button? Or limps in the cutoff seat?
That's pretty odd if they do it on a consistent basis.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And most top players will raise if they're the first player in the hand
That's true.
from the cutoff seat of the button.
Limped around here again. Jack 7-3 on the flop. Wall didn't even raise with ace king. The turn's a deuce.
Grand all in.
St. John's going to bet here.
And is ace king, though, Kevin actually has a pair of deuces now? And he's got the best hand?
Well, St. John bet there with 8 high, and it looks like he's going to take it down.
Now, it was funny, when I first started playing, I used to look for clues in the sense of how people would stack their chips and how they shuffle their chips. But with the advent of internet poker, you can't really look for that anymore.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I'm playing in a game where I don't know the players, I will I'll wait around before I post. I'll almost sit down, and I'll say, no, I want to wait until my blind. Or I'll wait till after the button, and I can just watch a couple of hands and see how people are reacting.
Kevin has the button over here in seat number 4.
I flop the center.
Or, excuse me, seat 6. Limp.
Go ahead.
4 players.
And we're going to see 4-way action here. Jack 8-7.
Andrew's got a open-ended straight draw here.
Wait, is anyone ever going to hit a pair on this
Well,
table?
Andrew's got a straight.
And he checks it again. This is just some classic stuff, and the river's a queen.
And nobody even has a pair. I mean, St. John's got a pair of 5s.
And Andrew's going to bet $15 here.
Ace high?
And Andrew's going to take it down.
I think this table needs a round of drinks.
Yeah, look at that. He beat ace high.
So
And I gotta tell you,
he's just got a
sometimes-
little bit of slow play itis here tonight.
Yeah, sometimes when I get in a game like this, and the game is kind of, takes a slow turn, it gets a little passive, that's the kind of time where I want to run a game over like this.
Right.
I mean, if players like Jesus are in a game, there's no way you're going to run it over. You almost have to wait until you hit a big hand and then value bet. Let's get a chip count here.
Well, Walt is still up a couple $100 here for the night. He's at 1,300. St. John down a little bit since our last chip count and everyone else is just kind of poking along here.
Poking along. I like that. Said it best. But when a game gets passive like this, where nobody's really taking shots at it, I'm going to be the one. I want to be the loose, crazy one to change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I might start throwing in raises, acting like I'm drunk. Acting like a fool.
We're going to have to start talking about beer here pretty soon, Dave.
Beer. Our staple. Hey, well, what do you do? Let me ask you this. If you're a new player, right, and you don't really want to play for money, is there a way you can learn for free?
Well, you can, because you can go to thebike.com and play on our Play for Free site. Just click on the Play for Free banner at thebike.com and download our new software. We're going to have free rolls, Dave, for Live the Bike viewers coming up in the near future.
You mean free rolls you can win nothing, of course, right?
No, free rolls where you can win cash, but it doesn't cost you any money to get into the tournament.
Get out! That is crazy. We're giving away money for nothing?
For nothing.
For nothing. Wow.
Got a raise here by Kevin with deuce 3 of clubs, and Walter just calls with pocket tens, and we're heads
Well,
up.
let's trap him, right?
4-4
Well, that's a good flop for deuce 3, isn't it? But he checks it.
Kevin checks.
And Walt's going to bet. And is Kevin going to check raise?
Well, Walt bets 50.
50?
50. And
50,
Kevin's
wow.
going to call. Well, that's about the size of the pot. The pot's about 200 now.
What is Walt thinking there?
Oh, and the turn's a deuce.
I got to tell you. Now, remember, Kevin was the free flop raiser.
Right.
Do you put him on, like, ace-king or maybe pocket 8?
And look at this. Walter moves all in. He moves all in. And look at this. Kevin's got a lot of chips back there. Walter's going to burn off about another 600. The river's a 7. And we quickly have the biggest pot of the night, over $1,300.
Yeah, I mean, actually, at the raise, we're looking, probably close to $1,500.
Wow.
Amazing. And you can't blame Walter. Somebody can go, wait a second, you bet and he called you. You have to figure he has a 4 or a deuce. Not really. You could say Kevin's probably the pre-flop raiser. Good chance he maybe has ace-king. Good chance he might have pocket 8s, pocket 9s, pocket 6s, and so forth. And just like that, Walter loses $700.
Yep.
I thought you had 4 5, dude.
Now, seat 3 there in the big blind, he's got pocket queens.
Doing that shit with me.
And he checks it. He checks out of the blind with queens, Dave. There's 4 people in the hand. What's going on here?
He's trying to play it tricky. Play it tricky.
And the king comes out.
And he's going to bet now.
Actually, you know what? Seat 5 bet.
Really? Okay, Vu bet. I'm sorry, Vu. Kenneth bet?
Yeah, Kenneth bet with the pocket 8s, and Emmanuel called. Turn is an 8, but it's a 3rd heart. And it goes check. Excuse me, it's Kenneth there with 5-6. I'm sorry, and the river's a queen.
Well, there's a queen.
And now Emmanuel has a set of queens. I thought Kenneth had a check and a bet.
Yeah, there were pocket 8s in there. That player threw the hand away.
Okay.
Because Kenneth had bet with 5-6. And Emmanuel takes it down with 3
and
queens.
Emmanuel just check called the river. I mean, the guy bet the flop, Emmanuel called. The turn was a heart. Check, check, and the river was a queen. And he checked maybe, I guess, to induce a bluff. Maybe he was scared of the flush, and he took it down.
Got the game, isn't it? Was it 3 hearts on the flop?
Interesting way to play the hand, I must say.
Yep. Button's going to move over here to seat number 9. Excuse me, seat number 1. Looks like we got ace-jack offsuit there. Everybody's limped. Pocket queens here.
Again?
Again and again, no raise.
No raise. So we got 5 ways.
He limped in early position.
$25
seat
pot.
7.
10, deuce, 6. Rainbow flop. Now, this is interesting. Seat 1, High has top pair. Let's see if he gets himself in trouble.
High's got top 2.
Oh, wow.
10-6. And St. John played it slow.
God, I just don't understand this.
Now, St. John bet 30, and High just called. He did not raise this time. Remember, before he seemed like he was playing it straightforward. So this is an unraised pot here with queens.
And he's going to bet, and I'm assuming High's going to raise.
No, he just called.
Wow.
He just called. Turn is an 8.
It's funny, High's played it pretty straightforward in terms
Yeah.
of check raising. Why would you not raise this?
St. John bets 40 now.
Are you kidding me?
And High's just going to call again.
Oh, man.
Slow play after slow play after slow play. And the river's a 9.
And that's a one-liner to straight.
And now it's a one-liner. It's going to kill all the action. See if it just goes check, check here. Nope. St. John's going to bet again. 40.
We've seen it a couple times where people have slow played it so much they scare themselves.
I got 2 pairs.
And High just calls. And 2 pair is good
And wait a
here.
minute. I can't bet now. I can't raise now because the 8 and the 9 came out.
Wow.
Wow. Slow play though. That's a bad play.
I got to tell you, it's amazing. I'm looking at this thread on 2+2, and it's amazing what some people get kicked off for and what some people don't get kicked off for.
Right.
Not that I object. I'm just wondering. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And if you're curious what I'm talking about, you got to log on to 2+2.
On the river, that river car scared me.
Button here is in seat 3. It's just amazing what's going on. Again, Dave, why would you limp in with a big pair on this table? I mean, we've seen it 2 or 3 times where it's just, there's no raising going on.
To be honest with you, a table like this right now, I would loosen up my raising requirements. I might start raising with, suited connectors. I might start raising with almost any 2 in position.
Well, St. John raises in early position with Jack 9 off suit, and he does not get anybody to play. And the button's going to move over here to seat 4.
Next time, just raise them.
No.
If I would have caught a queen, you would have lost the whole stack. Or at the board pairs.
Kevin is in the big blind here.
Another thing you can do is if you enter a casino and you're not quite sure who the pros are, who the players to watch out for, how the game is, if you if you tip the floor mat a couple of bucks.
Yeah, they might point you to the good table.
Exactly. If you give them a 10 or a 20 spot and you ask them, hey, what's a good game, they'll help you out.
King 7-5 here on the flop. Andrew's got top pair. Checked around. Turns
kings
another
now.
king.
20.
And now, Kenneth is going to bet with the 7. He's going to bet 20.
Well, hey, why not take a shot at it?
Let's see how much Andrew's going to slow play this again. He just calls again, Dave.
Surprise, surprise.
Yep. My God, the river's a 9.
40.
But look at this, Kenneth bets again. And Andrew's just going to call, it looks like. He never raised with 3 kings.
You know what's funny? I mean, would you ever be scared if somebody actually bet into a hand when you're playing with them? You'd only be scared that they checked it to you.
Yeah. It's amazing. Well, the other thing, too, is, certain casinos sometimes will have prop players, Dave. And you can always ask that casino. I know several in Southern California who the props are. You can ask them, are you a prop player? But I
Right.
got to be honest with you, especially at this casino, prop players do not necessarily mean they're good players.
No, not at all.
Present company, of course, excluded.
Well, you know what Barry Greenstein said? He goes, a lot of prop players are prop players because they could not be professional poker players
Right.
without the stipend from the casino.
Right.
I know some professional poker players that come to the Bicycle Casino to specifically play with our props.
Right. Pot is limped around here. Ace 4-4.
I mean, obviously there are many benefits of being a prop player, one of them being health benefits.
Everybody checked around here. The turns is 7.
And who's got the best hand here? Is it still King Jack high?
Emmanuel's going to bet into a flush draw here. And
But
he's-
Walt's still got the best hand, right?
Yeah.
Well, not anymore. He throws it away.
Now, Vu is coming back into the game. I guess he went to the tournament and he already busted out, so he's going to add some more action.
Well, it's 7:41 right now, so he's been in the tournament for a good 20 minutes.
Yeah.
26 minutes to be exact.
You want to be a floor? Who wants family?
I'm Jack.
Button here has moved to seat 6. We have an email here from Ramsey Serbin. He said, how did the cutoff get its name? Also, is it true that Ace King got to be called Big Slick because Ace King is the postal abbreviation from Alaska where the Exxon Valdez spill happened? I don't know, Dave. I don't think so.
I would imagine it's older than that, but I do not know. I mean, I know some names. I know Ace 9 got the name of Chris Ferguson because of, obviously, when he won the World Championship with Ace 9.
Right.
And there are certain names, obviously, the Dead Man's Hand, which is Ace 8.
Yeah.
Ace is up over 8s.
Thanks for the email, though. Get a
How did
raise
the
here.
cutoff seat get its name? I don't know. Very strange. We'll figure it out. I'm sure somebody on 2+2 or somebody will email us the answer right away.
Yeah,
though.
raised there by seat 5 with queen 10 offsuit. We do not see a flop.
Yeah, you gotta play aggressive in the beginning. You don't
You want to come in big one?
On the way to win a turn, you gotta stack up at the beginning.
Well, since we're on the topic of hot dealers, Dave.
Hot dealers.
Yeah. You've seen some hot dealers around? Female dealers?
At our casino?
Yeah, there's tons of them, right?
Really? Where? What games are you playing in? You talking about Brian?
Well, look at Ben. She's a cutie.
She's adorable. Ben is absolutely adorable. But who else? No, I mean, I'm not saying they're ugly, but I mean hot? I don't know. I mean, I
This
guess
one looks like it's going to get chopped around.
beauty
here.
is in the eye of the beholder.
And it's obviously it's all relative, right?
Exactly. Good to see a post from, is that Surf and Illini?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that is the gentleman that was here just a couple of days ago.
He was.
On Monday.
Yeah. Button is over there.
Now, we have a lot of good-looking dealers here. Hot might be stretching it.
But we do have the best-looking cocktail girls around.
We have hot cocktail girls.
Yeah. Button has got ace-queen here, and he's going to raise it.
20.
Makes it 20 to go. And there's good old Vu back here in seat 2 with ace-6 offsuit.
Not anymore.
Makes the call.
He doesn't work.
And he's dominated here. Well, he's picked up an open-ended straight draw.
That's not a bad flop for ace-6. I mean, if you're going to be in there. It's a rainbow board.
20.
And he bets 20. And let's see what high does. He just going to call here.
It's tough to know. Where are you at if you're high here?
Pot's about $80. Turns a 6. Now ace-6 is good.
Yeah, high's in bad shape here. High needs a queen and only a queen to win this pot.
50.
And we're going to see a bet here of 50 by Vu.
And I don't think High can call this, obviously. I mean, what can he beat?
He's going to fold.
Look at that, you almost won your buy-in back in 2 minutes.
And Walter said, he looks like he almost
And look
won
at
your buy
that. The
back in
river
2
actually
minutes.
would have been the queen of spades.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But High obviously can't call that.
Yeah. So Vu's coming back into the game with 200. He's made about $50 there on that end.
Hey, you know, that's interesting here. Surf and Illini actually says, what's with all this awful play? Interesting that he would ask this question considering he was here.
We chose to play in the 6-12 game, but he said no limit is more of his forte.
Okay.
But he was a good enough sport to play in that game on Monday.
I mean, that game certainly wasn't filled with high class play there.
Limped around here 3 ways and the blind. And look at this. Seat 3 just chooses to check pocket 9s there after the button limps in. King, deuce, king. I mean, what is it with Andrew checking his big hands? And now he fills up on the turn.
Well, he'll probably check again, right?
Checky check.
Well, if he shows any strength on the river, you assume he has a king.
Now, how is he going to play it? He just check calls here. Well, Vu gets the case 9, so Vu bet on the 9. And let's see what the river is. The river's another king.
Well, it's interesting.
Chop this one up.
Yeah.
Chop it up. Unbelievable.
I was going to say that would probably get some action for Andrew.
40.
Bet here by Andrew.
Go ahead.
And a raise here by Vu, and Andrew calls.
When they chop it up, let's see if they know it's chopped. And it is.
Again, boy, is Andrew ever going to put any money in the pot when he's got a good hand? That's the issue.
I mean, you can't blame Vu for thinking his hand is the best hand there.
I mean, it's not like pocket 9s is a monster. Why wouldn't you want to make a little value raise in there? It's just your head's up between a limper on the button and the big blind. I mean, there's going to be chances that an overcard's going to hit there.
Yeah, but why not take control of that pot by raising it up?
Beyond me. Beyond me.
I'm really excited about tomorrow night's show. Obviously, you can watch tomorrow night's show. It's our Friday, our big no-limit game, 10-20 blinds. Starts at 6 o'clock Pacific time. And tomorrow night, instead of a bluff night, we actually have a really exciting twist on it.
We're calling it VIP night.
VIP? Okay.
Very important player. Who you think was the best player, not necessarily the person that won the most money. but the best player, as voted by you, overall combination of plays,
Bluffs,
laydowns, maybe. You
Big
know.
laydowns, big bluffs. And it probably will not be the big winner of the night.
No.
Or the big loser. It'll probably be somebody in the middle.
Right.
But we do need your help tomorrow night, so do let us know.
Yep.
Well, and I'm hearing that our prize for tomorrow night, so if you're listening, you should rush down here tomorrow and put your name on the board real quick, is tickets to see Paul McCartney in concert.
Wow.
Pretty exciting. And it's going to be the best play of the day. Kind of ESPN's or Live
Right.
at the Bikes play of the day.
Well, player, too, overall
Right,
player.
exactly.
Yeah.
Which could be a great bluff or a great laydown, or who knows.
Well, this is interesting because I thought it was like kind of the best player. You're saying play?
Well, it'll be a collection of plays.
Kenneth here raised with ace king, and he's hit top pair. And it goes check, check. He's playing it tricky, and once again, and now St. John's got an open-ended straight draw. Check, check again. Oh, and the river's an 8.
And ace-king makes no money on the play.
I mean, maybe Kenneth doesn't play against St. John there. I mean, that's...
Who knows?
Because there is
Well, it's a combination
best
of-
play and best player.
Right. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit of best player, but we're going to base it on the best play of the day. Now, I'll give you an example. If by chance the one player makes one amazing play, but the best player of the night makes 4 pretty good plays.
Right.
And if, let's say you were to rate them 1 to 10, and the best player were to make 4 8s, but one guy made 1 10, we'd probably give it to the guy who made 4 8s.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope that's understood. But we do need your help. So tune in tomorrow night, 6 to 9.
Now, again, Andrew's just going to open limp here in late position with pocket 9s, and everybody's in there. Seat 4.
He
He's
flops
popped
a
top
set.
He checks it. Boy, this is pretty predictable, huh, Dave?
Yeah.
And Kevin is going to bet here with a pair of 4s on the
Well,
button.
I would bet that button, too, to be honest with you.
And Andrew calls.
And now I'd probably take the free card on the turn.
Well, there's a couple clubs out there.
I think Andrew's going to check.
Turns a club.
Oh, Andrew's going to bet it.
Well, he's going to bet now that there's 3 clubs.
Okay, Kevin throws his hand away.
He bets 25.
Suck your hand. How'd you know?
And he shows it. And he just keeps showing these big hands, and he keeps slow playing, Dave.
He's got a lot of big hands, huh?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I only put right here. That's when you go.
And we want to emphasize tomorrow night, the best play of the day, the best player of the day, obviously has nothing to do with who wins the most money.
No. Definitely not.
But what a prize, huh? Tickets to see Paul McCartney. Have you ever seen Paul McCartney in concert?
I have not.
I actually saw Paul McCartney in concert.
Really?
He puts on a good show. He puts on a really good show. Funny little story I have about Paul McCartney, and I'll tell you a little later.
I have seen
Yeah,
Guns N'
sounds-
Roses in concert, though. And that's
Oh,
what really
that
counts.
rocks. Where is he? Where is Axl Rose, man? He's just like missing in action, huh? Where did he go?
King Jack suited here limps in seat 5.
25.
That must have been a great concert.
Well,
though.
I'll tell you a little story about it after the hand. Now, St. John's going to raise. He's going to make it 25 to go with Jack 10. Wow. Seat 5, he's going to just fold the King Jack suited out of position. That's some tight play. Remember when Guns N' Roses, when Axl actually made a comeback a few years ago, they called it Guns N' Roses, but it was just him and that guy Baghead, or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boxhead or whatever. You know, his performance on the MTV Music Awards that year, it was pretty lame, I thought. It seemed like he was out of breath. But he had a little tour. Guns N' Roses had a tour, which
Right.
was eventually canceled after the first 3 or 4 shows because Axl just kept showing up late to the concert. But he put on one hell of a show at the Fleet Center in Boston. And they played all their stuff off of Appetite for Destruction. And it was great. It's almost like he was lip-syncing. Because it was probably one of the best concerts I've ever gone to. And he came out at like 11:30. That's the time that they started at.
We get a raise here out of seat 2 there with King Queen.
And look at this. While playing, the player calls with Ace
Well,
9.
he's in position. He'll play sometimes in position, and now he's flopped his ace, but now where's he at?
Yeah.
And Vu has got a pair with a gut shot.
And he's going to bet.
50.
I
And
got
now
to tell you,
he's
that's
vaulted.
not necessarily a great flop for Ace 9 here.
No, that's not. Like you said, you're either going to win a small pot or,
Yeah.
or lose a big one. And it's one of those cases where, like, uh-oh,
Well, he
where am
makes
I?
the call. He's going to make the call.
And what do you do if you're Vu here? You got to hate your hand now.
Well, it turns a king, and now Vu has 2 pair. And now, what can Ace-9 beat?
Well, and does Vu really like 2-pair here?
Well, he's going to
Well,
bet
I guess
again.
so.
He bets again.
Now, it's funny. This is one of those times where I don't mind checking to induce a bluff, because think about it. If a guy has a jack, he's going to call me, or he might move all in.
Now,
And if he
Vu,
doesn't have a jack, he can't call me.
Vu has bet 100 here into the pot. The pot is now about 250, 100 for Walt to call.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, if you bet into Walt, I don't think Walt can actually call this. I mean,
Right.
I'd be really surprised. I mean, all he can beat is a pure bluff. And what do I know? He's
Well, look at
calling.
this. No, he's going to raise.
Wow.
He's going to raise. But the thing is, Vu doesn't have any money left.
Yeah.
And Vu's going to make the $50 call, and the river's a 3, and King-Queen is good.
2-pair, king seven.
Maybe, Walt thought that if the guy had just had absolutely nothing, he would fold there. But once Vu makes that call, there's nothing Ace-9 can beat there.
No.
He can't beat pocket jacks, kings, tens, or aces. Or queens. Can't beat aces. Can't beat ace with any type of kicker.
Well, he ties any ace anyway. He's not
Right,
even
that's
play.
right. That's right.
I mean, I
I don't really know about that play by Walt.
No, I got to be honest with you. I think it's a terrible play by Walt.
Yeah.
I mean, if Vu's got a lot more money, if
Right.
they're a couple $1,000s deep, you can make that play and represent the jack.
But this is a restricted buying game.
and
He
Vu's
has
only
like
got 50
left.
Yeah, he's got
yeah.
exactly, totally, 100%.
Yeah,
So Axl Rose, that must have been a great concert, though.
it was.
Wow.
I think that guy's name was Baghead, but that doesn't sound. Is it Boxhead?
I don't know. We'll get.
Buckethead. That's what it was. Buckethead. Buckethead. Baghead. I knew that. Was
What other
wrong.
great concerts have you seen? I remember I saw the Who at the Hollywood Bowl. That was a great concert.
I actually saw. I like, Britpop. I actually saw The Verve at what used to be called Harbor Lights in Boston. If anyone's familiar with that, it's right on the water. It's called the Fleet Pavilion now or something. It's like one of these mini outdoor things. Places that hold about 3,000 people.
Oh, that's cool.
That was a great show with the skyline in the back.
Anytime
backdrop.
it's an outside part, anytime it's an outside concert, it's
I went to the Tibetan Freedom concert in '98 in Amsterdam. There was a good lineup
Oh.
there.
anything in Amsterdam's got to be fun.
'99 actually in Amsterdam. Limped around here.
Queen Jack suited here for Walt in
Five-way
position.
action. And he flops it straight.
Yeah.
Now, High has Ace-7 here on the button. Let's see. And Walt checks it. Well, it's a rainbow board. Turn is a 6. But again, any Broadway card's probably going to kill all the action.
Yeah. Why not bet it though? Come on, Walt. Bet it. I had it high. Check that on the button.
And now, seat 7's going to bet with a
How-
club draw.
How does High bet that?
65.
And now Walter's going to raise. He's going to raise it to 65. Yeah, I know.
How do you check top pair on the button? And now he's put himself in a tough spot of going, oh, did I let somebody get there with the 6?
I don't think he's going to call to a bet and a raise here, especially raised by Walter.
Well, by not raising the flop, you have no idea where you're at.
Well, not betting the flop.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest. The original bettor could have absolutely nothing, which is exactly what he has, and Walter could be raising with a king,
Right.
thinking this guy's full of crap. I don't understand the play there. I got to tell you, call me crazy, but I'm generally going to be betting top pair on the flop if I'm in position.
If on the button it gets checked here.
Yeah, I mean,
So now it's a raise there by Walter, and it looks like it's maybe, I want to say, maybe $40 more for St. John.
well, this is one of those times you got to look at the money and look how deep is Walt. If I hit my flush, am I
Right.
going to make a ton of money?
There isn't a lot in that pot, but he's going to make the call.
Well, this is all implied odds because it is backdoor flush,
And
and
it's
maybe Walt won't see it.
It's a $150
That-
pot, and the river's a deuce.
And it's a deuce of spades, so Walt still has the nuts.
And Walt is going to bet here.
Looks like a 150.
110. 110. A white and 2 yellows,
Yeah.
and St. John fold. Yeah, you wonder if the club there came on the river, what would have happened?
Right. I mean, it's not an obvious type of thing. You might put him on 2 pair,
Yep.
or even a set. Who knows? Another great concert I actually saw Pink Floyd
Really?
when I was like 15 years old, and I want to say I saw them. I don't know. I saw them somewhere in New York. Where was I? I was actually down in Long Island at the time, and I think I saw them at the Nassau Coliseum. And one of the funniest things, I laughed so hard when I saw there was a big no smoking sign. Like anybody listens to that at a Pink Floyd concert.
Yeah, no cigarette smoking, right?
Well, it just said no smoking. Who knows?
Button has moved over there to seat number 2. 4-way action. And the flop comes out 8, 9, 10 with a couple of diamonds. And Kenneth's got 2 pair, and St. John's got ace 10.
This is interesting. Get some action here.
Kenneth bets 30, and St. John just calls. I wonder how you just call there with ace 10 with people behind you. But
Wow. Well, this might be one of those times where you want to see a safe card. See how everybody acts behind you, get a safe card, and then really move.
Well, now he's hit 2 pair.
Well, that's a pretty safe card, huh?
And it goes check, check, and the river's a queen of diamonds. Oh, these guys don't play against each other. Keep forgetting it. I'm looking at the action. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, I keep saying, why are you in a game with a friend of yours or a brother that you don't play against? Once again, we're live at the bike, folks. I'm David Zuckman here with Bart Hansen, and we're playing No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are 3 and 5.
Now, Walter's got ace-king suited here. He's going to raise. He's going to make it 25 to go.
I mean, wouldn't you... To me, it doesn't make sense why you wouldn't raise with an above-average hand, like a premium Hold'em, like ace-king or nines or queens. Why you'd not want more money in the pot?
Well, St. John's going to call here with queen-jack of clubs.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I got a guy who's an underdog putting money in the pot, and I have position on him.
And the flop comes with spades, so Walter's got overcards and a spade draw.
Oh, it's a big flop for Walt.
And it looks like he's going to bet 45 or 40.
And it's a perfect reason why you raise. You get all those crappy hands out of there, right? You get it heads up. You still have the same amount of money in the pot or more because St. John is called the raise.
Right.
And you win yourself a pot.
Turn was a king, river was a spade, so it just got better and better. Better and better there.
It's one of the few hands that he could have actually taken 7 or 8 ways, huh?
Right. Looks like Bin is out of there, and we're going to get a new dealer in the box. Buttons moved over here to seat 4. We get
You know, it's funny, too. We were talking about pocket jacks versus ace-queen of diamonds. And obviously, you can debate about these two hands all day long. But both hands, you know, are troublesome hands. You know, neither hand is very easy to play.
Live straddle here. We haven't seen that in a while. And this is by St. John. And Walter's going to limp here under the gun with pocket 5s. And we got a limp here, seat 2. And it looks like, Walter's going to be able to get in there without a raise with pocket 5s. Yep.
Yeah, it was straddled pot, right?
Yep.
So $50.
Here we go to the flop. All diamonds,
Wow.
and Kevin's flopped the nut flush.
That's a nice flop from now.
And he's going to bet, and look at this, though. Kenneth's going to come out and bet bottom 2 pair. He's going to bet 40.
Now, this is one of those times, if you're Kevin, come on, bump it up right away.
Really? With the nut flush?
I think so. I bump it up right away because nobody gives you credit for it.
He's just going to call.
And Kenneth actually thinks, oh, wait a second, this guy's full of crap. He probably just has an ace of diamonds.
Right.
Because everybody goes, the opposite. Why would he do that with the ace with the nut flush?
Right, right.
Why wouldn't you slow play a flush?
Turn is a 4 here, and Kenneth fills up. But these guys are checking it down here again. I mean, how many people are friends here at the table? I don't know. Button has moved. I mean,
And
this
that's another
doesn't
case.
happen that often, Dave.
Yeah, but that's
but
another
I
case,
don't
though. I
understand
mean,
what's
what do
going
you?
on.
That's one of those opportunities. If
Yeah.
you're Kenneth, that's such a golden opportunity to make so much money.
Yeah,
I mean, why play at a table with them?
yeah.
I mean, it's the only thing that's funny is, like, I mean, I'll give you an example. I played with Carlos the other day, and obviously I'm not friends, and I'm going to play with Carlos. But there are a couple of times where my hand is pretty marginal. And
Right.
Carlos goes, hey, you want to check it down? And I go, yes, I do.
Right.
But later on, when I had the nuts, of course I didn't want to check it down.
Right.
You know, I'd use it to my advantage when I could.
Yeah.
Um,
Limped around
and
here.
the same goes. I mean, if he had the nuts, he was going to play it hard versus me, too.
Yeah.
Man.
Ace 8-8, and Kevin's got trip 8s. St. John's going to bet.
Well, I'd like to say this could be something. I mean, St. John's got he's got aces.
Kevin calls. and it just gets checked down here. I guess, Dave, again, apparently 5, 6, and 7 for some reason don't play against each other, right?
I mean, to me, I don't understand. If you're playing poker, whether you're playing for fun or professionally, either way, how is that fun?
Yeah.
Or how is that profitable? Either way, I mean, to me, it's just...
Yeah.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. If I'm playing in a game with my friends, those are the guys that I want to get.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I want to stick my chips right at my friend's ass. No, seriously, you know what I mean? I want to give it to him. I don't want to... It's more fun to beat my friend. I got bragging rights also.
Right. Of course. And it looks like everyone's going to limp here. 5-way action. Look at this. C1 limped in with ace-king offsuit. 7-6-6 with a couple spades.
Well, nice flop for ace-7. Walt's got top pair.
But High is going to bet it. He played ace-king slow pre-flop, and now he bets.
Well, we've seen that so many times.
Yeah. And Vu's going to call with top pair. He also has top pair. Sinjin is in there.
And Walt throws the hand away.
Yeah.
And you know what? I can't blame Walt there. When you get a bet and 2 calls, you got to look at it and go, wait a second. How is my hand good? Sinjin called at 3-4.
And High's picked up top pair now. And it gets checked over to Vu, and Vu's going to bet.
What is Sinjin in there with? Just a gut shot? The bottom end of a gut shot?
Looks like it. $30 bet here. And
with a paired board, do you really want to go for a gut shot?
Yeah.
Talk about reverse implied odds.
Just a check call there by High. And the river's a 5. And would he have gotten there? Did he have the straight?
Yeah, he would have gotten there. He had 3-4. But, I mean, you'd lose to any 7-6. You'd lose to any 6-5, which are,
Look at this. I love this bet here by High at the end. Because if he had checked it, Vu would have just checked right behind him, Dave.
Yeah. Well, it's a good bet by High also because he kind of prices his bet.
Right.
He I mean, it's a little bit of a blocker bet,
too. Yeah, a little
too.
defensive bet there with ace-king.
You know, he doesn't want to face a big bet.
Right. And that's what Sinjin says, give me my 3-4 back.
You bet 30, he calls, and I call. So I get odds.
I mean, I have no problem going to a casino with my friends, you know. And if we're playing against for high stakes and I don't want to play poker and, you know, break my friends, play at a different table. Especially in a 200 game, and we've got 4 or 5 games going.
Yep.
Ace-king suited here for seat 7. That's Sinjin.
And he limps.
On the button. He limped it on the button with ace-king suited.
I know, and it's not like, I mean, other players are in the... Queen
That's
3-9
insane.
here. Diamonds with a couple of overcards. And he checked it, and now he's picked up the nut flush.
Now, if he had raised pre-flop, maybe somebody calls.
It checked it again? And now he's going to bet when a 4th diamond comes out. And he might get a call here from Kim with the jack.
This might be some of the worst poker I've ever seen in my life.
This is ridiculous. I mean, and then it's going through my head. It's like...
What do you say? What could I do?
This is absurd.
Yes, theater of the absurd.
I thought for a moment you had the 6, yeah? So I checked it. King came? You still play ace king. You got nuts. No. He said ace king. And then king out there, he got jack.
And button is in seat 8. Small blind, $3 in seat 9. $5 in the big blind, which is seat 1. That's high. And dealer deals him around.
We got a raise here to 25. Pocket 4s.
Interesting email here from Ramses Serban. Serban?
Yeah.
Do you guys consider a pro poker player to only be someone who pays their bills? Pays their bills by playing poker.
Oh, there's Action Joe Win. Sorry.
Oh.
We're heads up here. King Queen against pocket 4s.
Well, nice flop for King Queen, huh?
Bet 60.
This is one of those cases where you've got reverse implied odds. If the guy has a heart draw and you catch your 4 hearts, it's no good.
Get 120.
Now, Vu bet right into the flop, and Sinjin's going to raise with King Queen. He's going to raise it up to 120.
I gotta tell you, I don't mind the bet because if Sinjin misses the flop, Vu's going to take it down. let's say St. John has ace jack,
Yeah.
ace king, any of these hands.
So let's see if the action's over to him. He's going to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's an easy laydown once you do.
And he actually sent us a follow-up email too, Dave. That his name is Remesis.
Remesis, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what would distinguish a pro from a recreational player?
Well, I guess it's the definition of pro. And then is the definition of pro different from the definition of professional? I had this debate with a friend in college one time, too. Is pro just short for professional, or do the two words mean different things? You know?
Interesting.
But,
I mean, to me, I'm thinking, if you consider, first of all, if you consider yourself professional, okay, hey, I mean, if you call yourself professional, I'll call you professional. I'm not going to tell you you're not. But to me, to be a professional poker player, you are making the majority of your income.
Right.
And supporting yourself by playing poker.
Right.
Why don't you put on the one computer over there and then...
I don't mean writing about poker. I don't mean talking about poker. I mean playing poker.
Yeah. Queen 7-9 here with a couple hearts. St. John's got a flush draw. And Vu's going to bet here. He bets 20. And St. John calls. And Height mucks the best hand there with 7-4. Turns a heart. Now St. John has the flush.
And he's got actually a straight flush draw, too.
But look at this. Vu's going to keep betting.
With nothing. And he's drawing dead.
He bets 50. And St. John immediately moves all in.
I like the play. Vu actually has two pair here. Now, Vu's got nothing. But if Vu had the ace of hearts,
Right.
he'd probably call him. He might. Who knows? If he has ace-queen with the ace of hearts, say, he might get a call out of him. And ace of hearts would be drawing really slim, obviously, because the 3 of hearts or the 8 of hearts would not be good.
Right.
Your hand could get worse.
And the button's going to move over here to seat number 9. Seat 1, excuse me. I don't know why I'm keep having trouble with seat 1 and seat 9 tonight.
Now, what do you do, Bart, if you're in a game and you see that a couple of people are friends?
Well, it's
not that they're playing partners, but they
Right.
just don't play against each
Well,
other.
I mean, it's frustrating for us. Apparently, like I said, we call them out. 5, 6, and 7 don't play against each other. And we apologize to our viewers. This is really the first time this has ever happened.
Yeah.
Again, we had trouble setting down the game tonight. Now, we got pocket kings there in seat 9. He's going to make it 55 to go.
I haven't heard much out of seat 9, Daniel Wilson there,
Yeah.
in quite a while.
Yeah.
Not Daniel Nelson, sorry.
And it looks like everyone's going to fold.
That's because it's not Daniel Nelson, it's Kim.
It's Kim. And, and for people who are new to the show, again, this is probably the only time that this has ever happened on the show. We've been doing the show for about 10 months now. I never really remember it being. I mean, we've had friends on the table that wouldn't play against each other, but 3 guys all sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good question. Sometimes I mean, they're not really playing partners.
No, they're not playing.
They haven't squeezed anybody because we'd put a stop to that right away.
Right, no, they're clearly not playing partners.
Right.
They're not cheating at all.
Right.
They're just not playing against each other.
Right. I don't know. I mean, do you get out? Does it bother you at all? Does it really affect the game?
Sometimes if the game is short,
Yeah.
and I know that the 3 players won't play against each other, and they're all gunning for me, basically, then, sometimes I'll get up from that game.
But I mean, this is a full table, so.
Because I also don't know. I mean, also, it does take some of the play out. I mean, let's say I'm in a hand with 2 of those players. One guy raises. I know that they're just going to check it down, which is somewhat annoying.
Right. Deuce 4-5 here
Well,
on the
Vu
flop.
has flopped the wheel.
But seat 1 is going to bet. Now, Vu, he's next to act, and let's see what his action is. High bet there on a deuce. Bottom pair. He bet 30, which is about the size of the pot.
Andrew's got a gut shot, and the only reason I like Andrew's gut shot is if he hits it, he's got the very top end of it.
Well, what does Vu do here with all diamonds? 2 diamonds on the board here with all these people to act. I think he's going to... Now, what did he do here? He did raise, Dave. He raised with the wheel.
Why not? Nobody ever gives you credit for a real hand. See, they're even saying it. What are you on a flush draw? Trying to get yourself a free card?
He raised it to 90. I don't know what Emmanuel is thinking over there in seat 3 with Queen 6.
Not flush draw, Manning?
Well, he's got a gut shot wheel draw. I mean, a gut shot straight draw here.
I call, you call. You go all in. A6 of diamonds? Cover me. A6 of diamonds. Call me.
Again, I think this is pretty easy lay down here for Emmanuel.
I'm not sure. I mean, he's only got like what $250 in front of him, maybe a little less.
Yeah, he's gonna fold and fold. Action's back over to St. John. He doesn't really have anything.
Hey, me too. Call it.
Kim's got a gut shot to the 3 with ace-6. He mucks. And Hai's going to probably muck, too.
Yeah, and there you go. Vu takes it down.
He shows it. Shows
you know
the
what?
wheel.
Why would he show it? Good aggressive play can often take down a pot. I mean, obviously, in that case, Vu had the goods.
Right.
But he didn't need to have it.
Well, the other thing, too, the reason why if you raise there, you know, and people see that you've raised with the wheel, or you know, raised with the main hand, well, now it's going to give you the ability to steal pots. And that's why, you know, you and I get so frustrated when we see these extremely loose, aggressive players betting their bluffs, but not betting their good hands.
Right.
Because then you pick up a pattern. It's a reverse pattern. When they check, they have something good. When they bet, they don't.
It's almost backwards poker, and they had a
Right.
great article on this in Card Player
Yeah.
a while back that I read, and I really enjoyed it, where, you know, you're betting when you don't have it, you're checking when you do have it. I mean, what is
Right.
it? What are you trying to get out of that?
Pocket kings here for seat 3.
I mean, Barry Greenstein used to say it, and he said it on this show, actually, in the booth, and he goes, you have to make all your bets look the same.
Right.
When you got it and when you don't have it.
Now we got a raise here to 35 by the pocket kings on the button. It looks like Andrew's going to call with pocket 6s. St. John's got queen jack off suit.
This is one of those cases Andrew's got to look at, and do I have the odds to go for this?
Well, he's got maybe
300?
Yeah, it's close. Other people came in, but now we're heads up.
He also might think he has the best hand if it comes out a raggy board.
Well, how about this? Is he going to get involved here? Jack 8-4.
It's not a great flop for 6s. People like to play jacks.
And Emmanuel's going to bet.
And sometimes what you do with 6s here is it is a read and react type thing. You kind of check once, see what the opponent does, and try to read him. Does he have an overpair? Does he have a jack?
He's
Or
not
is he
going to
full
get
of crap?
involved there. And again, you know, that I always say it on the show, Dave, but that flop, hands like pocket 9s and pocket 10s, some of the toughest decisions in no limit hold them out of position. Jack 8-4, you know? It's almost like, what are you going to do? Just check fold? That's a little bit passive, a little weak tight. But at the same time, you could also be in big trouble, right?
Yeah, sometimes the best thing to do there is if the pot's been raised and it comes out, let's say you have 9s and the flop comes out Jack 8 blank, sometimes the best thing to do is throw in a little bet.
Right.
Not necessarily a small bet. You throw in, say, a pot size or a little bit under the pot size bet, see where you're at.
Right.
Because if the guy has ace king or ace queen, he might be a little hesitant to call you.
Right.
And now, as long as you bet it there and you also bet it when you make a set,
Yeah.
you'll get action.
We have a raise here, 35, pocket 4s.
I want to see a flop.
Ah, you bastard.
And St. John says, I want to see a flop. He's got Jack 10 suited. He's going to call. He's out of position.
Don't be scared.
And here we go to the flop. Oh, he's picked up a club draw.
Yeah, a couple of clubs there. Now, this is one of those cases that's tough with 4s again because he's got the best hand.
High
but-
doesn't bet, though. Turns a 6.
You know, High going to throw a little bet in there now? No.
Check, check. And the river's a 5.
I got a pair.
That's
And it
going
just
to
gets
check down.
checked down.
And we do apologize for the friends that are not
Well,
playing
those
together.
two guys are not.
No, they're
Those
not.
are not. That's just weak pass. I mean, it's kind of sometimes it's been difficult to figure out with all the slow playing and passive play been going on. I mean, we saw St. John check the nut flush twice against Andrew in seat 4 about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't really know exactly.
Right.
But we do promise that if it happens again where it's evident to us that people are playing as friends
Yeah.
and aren't playing, we will remove them from the game
Yeah.
and get players in there that are going to play against each other.
Yeah.
I could have easily won that,
Oh, yeah.
but I was like, there's it. That's flop.
Now we got King Queen here.
Raise
Yeah,
15.
keep playing, huh?
$15 raise here on the button. Gonna raise it up on seat 5. St. John's gonna call. He's got Queen 10. Walter's in there with pocket 6s.
He flops it straight and he flopped me a flush.
High's going to call it Jack 10 hearts. I mean, the hand plays well multi-way, doesn't it?
Looks like High looks like an angel over there. Got the halo.
Well,
around
High has
his hat.
flopped a straight.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he does. He's got a red straight though. It's 9-8-7 all
Now,
speed.
St. John has flopped a straight flush draw.
An
though.
open-ended one.
Yeah, open-ended straight flush draw. And so is Walt. Now, obviously, they can't both hit. but
Right. Let's see how this hand plays out.
This is interesting.
High check the straight. He checked the straight in the turns of queen of spades.
Wow.
Jeez. And now St. John's going to bet. He's going to bet 25.
Unreal. I got the opposite. Look at that. You see that?
And I don't know if I can call it. How does I check that flop?
Yeah, it's. I don't know. And that's obviously not. They're not playing friends. That's just a matter of just.
Again, it's
passive
just
play.
you know, it's a weird combination we have here tonight. And again, 2 + 2 threads kind of going crazy. And again, we apologize.
Yeah. It's funny. We pick certain shows to obviously go to the Poker Channel over in England.
Right.
And I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this game will not go to England. Do apologize for that. Hopefully Bart and I are entertaining you enough to keep you here.
If I bet out, you're going to call me, so I'll take a chance.
Button's going to move over here to seat 6.
You would have.
Now, I like the post from Bill Alt. He's a stranger. He's just new to 2 + 2. What about an invitational live at the bike, where you have more well-known players playing a cash game, or the live at the bike announcers playing each other? And we actually have that. If you check it out on Wednesday nights, we have a whale game where we have a lot of named pros: Tim Fan, Tuan Lee, Hassan Habib, often playing in a big game. Our Friday night game is also a really big game. He also wants to see the announcers playing in a game.
Yeah.
And you can check us out in the archives. All of us have played, so you can scour the archives for us.
Yeah.
And occasionally we do jump in there.
Yeah. And Shirley was going to actually play in this game if our 2 + 2 was going to play, but Baron Bangor Toth
could not show up.
But Shirley was here. He wanted to meet him, and unfortunately he could not show up. So
I'm thinking of one thing I'd like to do personally is I'd like to do a heads-up tournament. Now I know Mo has been talking about possibly doing a heads-up tournament, which is a team-based tournament.
Yeah.
And you play on a team, and if your team wins, you win. I'd kind of like to do a heads-up tournament a la like the NCAA tournament,
right?
Where we get our top 64 and we play it down, and call it the Live the Bike World Heads-Up Championships.
We got a raise here to $20 by seat 6, and we're going to see 4-way action here. 6-6 queen, and Kevin raised it pre-flop, and he's hit trip 6s.
Well, this is one of those times if you raise it pre-flop, you've got to bet it.
And he did bet.
And you got to hope
45.
somebody called you, and just hope somebody called you the queen.
Because it sets up a play now where you can always bet your hands when you don't hit the flop.
Well, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
If you're only going to bet it when you miss,
right,
and you check it when you hit, people will pick up on that.
Yeah. And again, I just think it's funny. The fact that, like I said, this has never really happened before. We've had, the checking down, but you can't tell who's checking it down or not because the play is so weak, tight, and so over, slow play-itis, whatever you want to call it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Like I said, this is the kind of game. I mean, this is actually one of my favorite type of games to play in.
Yeah.
Now, I might not make $3,000-4,000, but to me, it's real easy to make. A couple hundred, $300-400.
Yeah. Now Kevin shows the 6 there. Do you like to show the good hands sometimes there?
To be honest with you, I mean, I don't know. Dewey Tomko, one of his golden rules is never show cards.
Yep.
How did I know he had a 6?
To be honest with you, I rarely want to show my cards.
Yeah.
Keep them guessing.
Yep. It's funny. Whalecock on 2 + 2 says, a good way to get players in this game is to close down the Mexican poker section between 6 to 9 Pacific time.
It's a great idea. That is a great idea. We'll keep that in mind.
Problem solved. You got it, buddy.
And I mean, this is kind of weak, tight play, passive play, and to me, it's the most profitable poker there is.
Yeah.
How do you know?
I mean, if Shirley had played in this game, she'd run it over.
4-way action here. Deuce 4-8. Looks like seat 1. He's got bottom 2 pair, and he checks. Now Kenneth's got top pair, and he's going to bet.
Well,
25.
Hoy has played pretty consistently with check raising any hand. It's decent.
He just called this time, Dave, with bottom 2 pair. A couple of spades out there. I mean, that's not a monster hand.
No, he's vulnerable to so many cards.
There's people in between him. There's 2 people in between him.
There's a wheel draw out there. There's spades out there.
So we're heads up now.
Plus, how do you know where you're at here when,
Wow, and the turn's an 8.
Well, now he's dead. Now he might as well throw his hand away.
God, that flop too fast.
7-8-3 rainbow, right?
And that's one of those cases where deuce 4 just goes up in flames. I mean, what? The turn's an 8. But to be honest with you, how do you even know where you are if a 9 falls or a 7 falls? You have no idea with bottom 2 there.
Turn, 8 of hearts. I got quads, but now 2 hearts. All of a sudden, this kid uses 400.
Button's going to move over here to seat 1.
Haven't hit a set yet.
And I got to tell you, I'm almost tempted to sit in the game myself and just start, rallying them up.
Yeah.
I think about it forever.
You know, it'd be funny too. You could sit down in the game, Bart, and go, "Hey, do you want to check it down?" The guy says yes. You go, "Okay, I'm all in."
And then King Deuce of heart calls. River? Nothing.
I got better.
King Deuce
From
tries
the
to bluff.
beginning,
All in.
how could I lose?
I raise you.
Everyone
You can catch live at the bike every Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night is a really, really great night. It is our VIP night, very important player of the night. And the best player tomorrow night, as voted by you guys, will get tickets to Paul McCartney concert.
Now, Vu here, he's going to bet here. He's got a flush draw and a gut shot.
Now, Vu actually also has a double gutter to be any 8.
Wow, double gutter and
Any
a flush
8 or
draw.
queen. It's a big hand. And he takes it down.
Yep, makes a semi-bluff. The Button's going to move over there, seat 2.
Now, it's interesting. When players play together, not necessarily partners, but they're friends, does the
Yeah.
casino have any say about that? I mean, can the casino... Because, I mean, to me, it's terrible for the action. Obviously, it doesn't make for good TV or good webcast.
Yeah,
But what about just bad poker? It also makes for bad action.
yeah. Look at this, seat 5 limped in here with queens. Limped under the gun
I mean,
with
was he looking
queens.
for a limp re-raise?
Jack 8-3 here, rainbow. And Kenneth's going to bet here with the overpair.
Yeah, and nobody's got anything here. I think this is just going to be bet and everybody folds.
Yep. Here's a question here by Arvin on 2+2. Dave and Bart, when you guys started propping at the bike, what games did you play? Was it determined by your bankroll, knowledge of poker games, etc.? Well, we actually, as props, we're required to play all games here at the bike. And normally, like a prop at another casinos, the upper level games, it's pretty much just limit hold'em. We don't have to play no limit, Dave, because to be a prop would kind of be unfair to shift people around.
Yeah.
And no
Well, actually, they do require us to play the low
the
limit.
$100 game.
Right.
Right, the $100 game. Now, seat 5 has got ace-king here in the blind. Limp. The Button wants to check, but he's got king-jack off suit. And seat 5's going to raise it here with Big Slick to $30.
What, a raise? No way. And everybody folds.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the casino really has no... They don't really care what your knowledge of the game is or what your bankroll is
Right.
or how good you are.
Absolutely.
As long as basically you're here on time and you can play,
Yeah.
they don't really care because it's your money you're playing with.
Right.
But to answer your question, as a prop, as you're getting a job, obviously you need to know what games you can play and what your bankroll can handle.
Right.
Now, for us, obviously, we both started and we both play any game up to 40-80.
Yep.
We're required to play, and that's any game, whether it be Omaha, whether it be deuce to 7 triple draw.
But what I was going to say was, in other casinos, Dave,
Yeah.
basically it's just limit hold'em, but here you have to play high-low, stud. That is a game that goes here every single day. So a lot of props will come in, and they don't know how to play stud high-low, and that's good for you and us. You and
Yeah,
I.
I love that.
Yeah. 4-6-8 here.
Everybody's missed here. Kevin's got the best hand with Queen Jack.
Yeah. Turn is a 10.
Wow, and Walt's made a straight, right?
Got
no,
shot.
I'm sorry, he's got an open-ended straight now.
Well, he's going to bet it.
50?
He's open-ended now. He had it. And seat 1's going to call. Well, the flop was checked around.
Well, he's got the...
And what is high calling with?
Guy's got a gut shot.
And the river's a 9. And Walt makes it. No, excuse me. Walt makes a pair. But High has him out-kicked.
Actually, I wanted to say High actually had a double gutter there. A 7 or a jack would have made him straight.
Yeah. And Walt's going to continue to bet. He's going to bet 125 here.
Well, and this is tough now. I mean, can High call this? And he can't.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why if you pick up a draw, and he had a double gutter, which is the same as Walt's open-ended straight draw, obviously, sometimes it's better to raise it than to just call. Call the raise. Yeah, actually, before you started working here, we had a regular stud game that would go 20
Stud
40.
high, really?
Stud, just regular stud high.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. I became, I'd like to say, rather proficient in the game because I probably put in a good 1,000 hours of playing just stud.
Right.
And then we'd play it every single day. And, you know, and we've had every game. We used to play a 10, 20 mix game here that had Deuce to 7 and had Padugi and Omaha. And obviously, I know you're very, very proficient in Omaha, high-low. One of your favorite games.
Ace-Queen suited here for seat 6, and Kevin's going to raise it up. A couple limpers in front. He's going to make it 40 to go.
This is interesting here. Seat 1's got King, Jack of Diamonds. Seat 3 has 10, 9 of Diamonds.
So a call there by seat 1, high with the King, Jack of Diamonds.
A lot of red cards, huh?
And Emmanuel is in there with 9, 10 of Diamonds. So let's see. In reality, we're not going to hide it. Apparently, seat 1 and seat 6 don't play with each other. So let's see how that affects this hand, Dave.
Well,
and look at this flop for seat number 3. 7, 8, 4 with a couple of diamonds.
I mean, in no limit hold'em, that's a good enough hand to push all your money in the flop right there.
And he's
that's
going
what
to bet.
Oh, yeah, he's moving all in.
Yeah, he's going to move all in.
Well, and now does high call with King, Jack of Diamonds? Wow.
Got overcards in the diamond
This
draw.
is a great semi-bluff here by Emmanuel. He does not have the best hand right now.
Yep.
But I don't know if high can call here with just King high.
You got it, bro.
And he takes it.
He folds.
Nice bet by Emmanuel.
What do you want me to do, man?
He shows it. Shows the semi-bluff there.
What do you want me to do? You have the best hand. What do you want me to do?
And I like what's his name said. I think it was Whale Cock said, I wish Denny was there. He wouldn't stand for this crack. Yeah, Denny would probably eat him. Throw some ketchup on him and eat them all.
Yeah.
I still have the best hand on the flop. That is queen. Good lay down.
But again, I mean,
I can survive too.
Yeah, my hand will do the same thing.
you see an email here by Ingvar in Iceland. He's given us emails before. The show tonight was some of the worst poker I've ever seen, including my Friday night home games. Well, we tend to agree with you.
Yeah.
I want to call.
And look at
because
this
I thought I had the
seat,
best hand.
Dave. Seat 1's got pocket kings and he's limped.
Hey, I love this kind of game. I got to be honest. I might jump in this game after the show.
Andrew's limped with ace 10 of spades. Kim's in with pocket 5s. 6, 6, 10. Now, Andrew's got top pair, and Andrew didn't bet with ace 10. The turn's a 3.
Wow. It's like you're almost asking him to get killed.
And now seat 9 is going to bet. Kim with pocket 5s. Kings is just going to smooth call.
Oh, hey, I mean, wouldn't you think you're good? If everybody checked the flop, why wouldn't you think you're good with 5s?
And Andrew's going to call.
Andrew smooth calls with ace 10. Wow.
Check the flop.
How do you check if you're high?
Oh, my goodness.
And how do you just smooth call that?
And the river's a 4. And kings are good here.
Yeah. Kim's got an open-ended straight draw now, but unfortunately this game's only played with 7 cards.
Now high is going to bet. Gets checked to him, and now he's going to bet. He's going to bet 50. He checked the flop, just called the turn, and now...
I mean, let's be honest. How did Andrew play this hand, too? A top pair, top kicker.
And he calls.
And now Kim's got to look at this and go, wait a second. Nobody bet the flop. Nobody bet the turn. Nobody bet the river. And now everybody's betting and calling?
Yep.
I mean, is he looking at it going, wait a second, I got the 5s.
Two pair.
And kings are good here.
Ace 10. I got king.
You turn over kings.
I mean, you got to be like
here.
what is going on?
Yeah.
Exactly. Amazing. Well, you know, it's interesting. To me, you can really learn a lot from this poker. You know, being a writer myself as well, sometimes you can really learn a lot from bad writing.
Right.
Well, if you're a poker player, you can certainly learn a lot from bad poker.
Right.
Well, because I was in bad position. I raised first.
Button in seat 8.
Did you just hear that explanation?
What was it? I'm kidding.
Seat 1 said he didn't raise with kings because he was in bad position.
Oh, of course. Makes sense. Well, now, how stupid of us.
I don't like calling.
Andrew's got pocket 9s. He limps in seat 4.
Flop, if I hold it, you cannot call.
It's a lot better than straight. Enough for us.
That's a monster call, though.
Limped around here.
2 overcards and flush draw.
Queen 7, 8.
Couple of hearts.
At 9's still good.
You forgot the
Well, seat one's going to bet here with 7.
And the best hand.
best hand and the best draw. And the
See how Andrew plays it.
I mean, the only problem with this game is it's tough to know where you're at because everybody just calls you anyway. I mean, does this guy have a set of queens?
This is playing like a $40 no limit.
Well, I mean, you
game.
wonder here. Okay, if you're playing against Andrew here,
Yeah.
does Andrew have
A set of queens.
a set of queens, a straight flush draw,
Right.
or pocket nines? I mean, he plays it the same way.
Well, High is going to bet again here.
45.
I mean, this kind of game, you certainly want to bet for value. That's for sure.
$45 bet here on the turn. And Andrew's going to raise.
And make it 130.
So he made it. He waited till the turn to raise, and he's going to make it 130.
Well, I mean, okay, now he's raised me. Well, now I certainly know he doesn't have a set.
Or
Right?
any type of really good hand.
Right, no, exactly.
Yeah.
If he had a real hand, he would just call me one more
I mean,
time.
obviously he called down with Ace-10 the last hand all the way.
Right.
So he wouldn't have raised, right?
Yeah, you can't even put him on a queen.
Can't put him on a queen. It's unbelievable.
That's funny. You know, we were on Monday night. You and I were talking about that limit hold'em, and some people are going, well, "Wait, these guys are really being nice to these guys."
Yeah.
Well, here we are ripping people.
I got the balls to call $700 for each slot. Try to bluff.
This really is playing like a beginner game, Dave. I mean, there's
Very
no
much
aggression
so.
whatsoever.
Make it 25.
Now we got a raise here by Kevin. He's got 5-3 diamonds. He's going to make it 25 to go out of seat 6. Seat 1 is just going to call.
That's it.
And it's heads up here between Kevin and High.
Right.
How are they going to play it? I'm curious because they checked it down last time.
Right.
Check one.
It's like riding the bike with no hands, Dave.
And what's the point of even being in there? 3-5 diamonds heads up against
Right.
somebody you're not playing against.
Right.
Well, he wins the hand with a pair of 5s. Oh, actually, look at that. High made a straight. I'm sorry. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, he,
Sorry to misread that one. I
Right.
wasn't really interested.
right. Yeah.
Live at the bike, politically incorrect.
Again,
Trying to keep it real.
again, for those of you that have never watched the show before, check us out again tomorrow for 10-20 no limit, $1,000 minimum buy-in, and believe me, there's no checking down in that game, Dave.
No,
Again, this is the first time that anything like this has ever happened on the show, and we've done what 1,500 to 2,000 hours.
yeah, tomorrow night people will be
Yeah.
sticking things. You know,
Right, right,
Sticking it to people.
yeah.
And they're all friends, too.
And they are all friends. That's
They're
right.
friends,
yeah.
and they play as hard as they can.
Right.
Yeah, Friday night, like I say, Friday night is the night I look forward to all week long.
King, 3 here. Everybody check. Turns a deuce.
Kim's got the best hand here with a pair of 3s. And I got to tell you, I bet it if any is going to bet it. Good for him. Let's see if anybody has a king.
No, I got a deuces. Are you happy?
Deuces is good. I had a king. I had king 4.
And this is exciting here. Look at this. We're getting an email from Bryce Meyer. Sensational revolution in medicine. We can enlarge our penises up to 10 centimeters or up to 4 inches. Wow, 4 inches. I think my wife will run. No! How scary. Button is in seat 2.
How big would that make it in total, Dave?
4.5.
Well, seat 1's got ace king off suit here. But Walter, he's going to raise. He's got pocket 10s.
Well, he's not playing with anybody here.
Seat 1's going to call.
He's playing for real. Well, this is interesting. We got 10s. We got ace king.
And we're
This
heads
is-
up here. Now, one of the aces was dead. Now, Walter is out of position. So
Yeah,
here
but
we go.
Walt's the aggressor. I just called him. A nice flop for
Tens.
Walt there.
Remember, Walt lost a lot of money with 10s early in the show. Walt's going to bet 50.
And High has no idea where he's at. Is Walt doing a continuation bet with ace queen? Because all he did was smooth call with ace king.
See, Funky Monkey on 2+2 says, Dave, play at the table. They'll help the entertainment value.
Yeah, actually, we do make a rule here at Live at the Bike that the commentators, although obviously we play with a lot of these players, we do not play at the feature table the night that we commentate.
No, like not, yeah, exactly.
Like I might go play the 10-20 no limit game
Right.
with a lot of faces that we know, but I wouldn't play on a Friday night
Yeah.
after the webcast. We feel like it's unfair. Unethical. Ace-Queen for seat 6. That's Kevin.
He limps under the gun. Walter limps with Ace-Jack. That's pretty standard for him. Middle position. We haven't heard much from Vu. He's going to limp in with King-9. And we got 6-way action here. $30 pot. 10, 6, 4.
Nobody has a 10, huh? Best hand I want to say is Kenneth, right, with 6-8?
Yep, it gets checked around here. The turn is a 3.
Well, now Andrew's got an open-ended straight draw with a 6.
Yep.
Kenneth still is the best hand with 6-8.
Well, he's got a flush draw now, too, with the 6, Kenneth, and he's going to bet 15. And St. John is going to raise here with the open-ended straight draw and the flush draw. And Andrew's going to call. And Kenneth calls. So flush draw against flush draw with pair against a straight draw. And the river is a 3.
And Kenneth's hand is still good.
Yep.
Actually, they're going to chop it up.
Chop it up. The 10's going to play here.
Yeah.
Kenneth is
Best
going to
5 cards play.
Kenneth is going to bet here. He's going to bet 30. Now, St. John busted out, so he's probably going to fold. So does Andrew make this call hoping for a chop pot?
Well, I mean, they both have pair. They both have 6s and 3s with a 10 kicker.
Right.
Best 5 cards play in Hold'em.
Oh, Andrew folds. He's not going to
throws
play
it away.
it.
Wow.
Now, I'll give you an example, and we haven't seen this happen, Dave, where we would go out there and kick everyone off the table. Just to give anybody an example, if they ever think that somebody is colluding, if St. John were to call there with a Queen 5, now you always have the option to take a look at the winning hands.
Right.
But let's say that you suspected something was up, where someone was playing partners, and a guy in the middle called, and you folded 6-5, and now St. John turns over Queen high, busted flush draw.
Right, and he called, right.
Right, and he called and you didn't overcall. That's a clear-cut tell.
Oh, without a doubt. And obviously, we won't. There's no
right,
no tolerance for that whatsoever.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just
people often say, how do we protect the integrity of this game?
Right, right.
Obviously, we have 4 people in the booth. Mm-hmm. We have 4 sets of eyes, 8 eyes looking at it, and we obviously won't put up with anything that even suspects collusion.
Jack 6-5 here.
Seat 4's got top pair, king kicker.
Check around.
And Andrew checks King Jack from the button, Dave. I mean, what is he doing? Because he doesn't have any friends at the table.
15.
And now he's going to bet, and Emmanuel picks up an open-ended straight draw.
Oh, man, I feel bad for him now. God.
St. John calls with ace-6. Walt calls with ace-king. And now Queen-9 calls. And the river is a 10, and it looks like King-Jack is good here.
And I assume it's going to go check down here. I mean, can Andrew
Andrew
bet?
is going to bet.
Wow. Well, I guess he assumes no 10 would bet. A 10 would bet already?
How do you not bet the flop there with King-Jack? He's going to get a call from St. John. I mean,
can you blame St. John? You're looking at it going, wait a second, this guy's on the button. There's no way he's going to check a jack, is he?
I mean, does Andrew think he's playing it clever today?
He's cagey.
Jacks, 10, king.
I mean, I know in No Limit Hold'em, obviously you want to mix it up once in a while, maybe check top pair and stuff. Man, on the button? Odd play.
Dave, I think I might have just had a couple shots of tequila there. Oh!
Once again, you can email us at liveatthebike.com with any questions, comments.
Got about 10 or
suggestions.
10 or 15 minutes left in this show.
Shoe fits. That's worth it.
And something funny happened. I have no idea what it was.
40 more.
What are you doing? doing over there, huh?
Big blind raise.
Pick up a good hand.
Now, it looks like we've got a raise here by Sinjin with ace-10 of clubs.
Mine's good, but not that good.
Yeah, I got to read a post here by somebody after this hand. Sinjin's going to take it down.
Ace 10.
Most smooth here on 2+2 says. Seat 1 didn't have position to raise with pocket kings pre-flop, that hand.
No.
But somehow he had position with the 7 deuce on the very next hand.
Right. And just for anybody that doesn't remember, he was under the gun with kings.
Right.
But then I think he was in the big blind or small blind with 7 deuce.
Right.
About at 2%. Ahead of you. About 2%. I don't care.
Doggy, no behind.
And we got two ace kings here. A limp here under the gun by seat 1. Seat 4 limps with ace king. All the aces are dead. It's limped around. 6-way action. King
Well, they hit
7
their
queen.
king, but
And-
Walt has a flush draw.
He does. And High's going to bet 25 here.
And
Where do
Andrew-
you know? How do you put somebody on a hand here? And Emmanuel's going to call with ace 10. Nobody raises with ace king. Andrew just calls, and Walt calls.
Wait, that kind of flop? How do you not raise with ace king?
It's amazing. Turn is an 8. Walt's got a flush draw now. Walt's got a pair with his flush draw.
100.
He's got a ton of outs.
And now High's going to bet 100.
And is the pot big enough to actually go for it if you're Walt?
Wow.
If you think about it and you go, well, let's see, I got a pair. Maybe if I hit 2
Well,
pairs.
now Andrew's
tricks.
going to call in the middle, so now the pot balloons about $350, $400.
Right. The problem is that you think you're drawing dead. Do you think maybe that...
Do you think your 2 pair would be good? Do you think your trips would
Right,
be
or do you
good?
think one of them maybe has 2 pair, the other player has a flush
Look at
draw?
this. Walter mucks it. He
Yeah.
mucks it.
Well, it's hard to put somebody on a hand here. You know, somebody might have a bigger heart draw than you.
Let's see the river. River's a 5, so he
And it's
wouldn't have got
chop,
there.
chop.
Again, it's about a $350 pot here.
75.
And that's a kind of a blocker bet there, Dave. He's going to bet 75 here. And Andrew calls.
Same hand.
And Andrew says, you got ace king? The guy says, yeah. And we've got chop it up. I mean, these guys, it's unbelievable.
I should be in. I don't know. One honest poker player.
You have to break it.
Seat 7's going to have the button here.
Never mind, never mind.
We have singles in the game.
No, that's why I have to keep betting it out.
I lay it down too. Quarter, I can fall.
Button is in seat 7.
If I hit the turn, boom.
If the heart hit the turn, I wouldn't bet.
If I hit the turn, boom. I have to make a move or something, you know?
Hey, you know what's kind of funny? My dad, Bart, actually called me up. He goes, hey, you know that $1 million ad they're talking about, like Paradise Poker?
Right,
you can
right,
win $1 million
right.
on ParadisePoker.net or whatever it is. And he goes, is that for real? And I honestly don't know. I was like, what is the $1 million promotion they're talking about?
I don't know.
You have no idea? Well, maybe somebody on
guess it's a
2+2
$1 million
can help us
free
out.
roll.
Because my dad was curious. So I'm curious.
Now, Walt checked a king in early position on the flop, and now...
It's a little different. It's early
Yeah.
position. He has king, no kicker. He wants
Yeah.
to see where everybody's at. Okay.
And Vu calls with a flush draw and a pair. He's got deuce 7 of diamonds. And we're heads up. And I imagine that Walt is going to check this river regardless of what comes.
You think?
It's an ace.
Check you, sir.
And you got to think that Vu probably needs to bet here, right, to win. I mean, he does have a pair, but...
Well, if he represents maybe like diamonds with the ace of diamonds. No, he couldn't
Now
pull
he
the
just
trigger.
checked it down.
Couldn't pull the trigger. Not
Whoa.
sure if he would have gotten Walt off the hand anyway.
Take a look at that shot. I just looked up for a second, Dave.
I'm looking up. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, lovely girl.
Lovely girl
Sitting
there.
behind seat 2.
Yeah.
Standing behind seat 2, sorry.
Startled me.
You do have a thing for Asian girls. I tell you,
I
man.
do.
Man. Oh, here, give me a towel. Wipe the saliva off your mouth. Jeez. And from what I hear, that's Sin Jin's girlfriend. Lovely girl.
We think that, unconfirmed.
Unconfirmed.
Right.
There's still hope for you, Bart.
Right. Lives around here.
King 4-3, a couple of hearts out there. Emmanuel's got top pair. Let's see if he bets it. Nope, goes checks around. 4 on the turn now. How do you know where you're at now if you got King 10? I just don't understand it. I mean, you leave some guy in there, and he checks it again, and now another 4 out there. And watch, he'll probably bet now. Yep. And he does. He's got 4s full of kings, and he'll bet now when he has no chance of whatsoever getting called.
$15.
Oh, you got it. Here's 6. Good hand.
Bag play.
Pocket 5.
And we've got about time for a few more hands, Dave.
You don't call, maybe I'll have 3.
This is interesting. We got an interesting post from Arvin. You guys should have a backup plan next time. Maybe hot semi-naked babes playing Padugi. Yeah. Now, I just want to keep in mind, if you don't love this night, we do promise that a lot of our other nights are a lot more entertaining. And if you want to check them out, you can check them out at the archives. Just go to liveatthebike.com. Go to the top left corner. You can click on the archives banner. And we have got some great, great shows. Probably close to 1,500 hours of content.
That's right.
Content with Doyle Brunson, Kathy Liebert, Greg Raymer, Barry Greenstein, Hassan Habib. You name it, they've been here. You know, Antonio the Magician, they've all been here.
Now we get a race here by seat 6, and his buddy there in seat 7's called him. Both of them guys have the same hand.
Just 2 players.
Wow.
Pocket 7s against pocket 7s.
Well, this might get really exciting, folks. Hold on to your seats. Well, they both have 2 pair.
Go ahead.
7. The other guy's calling the other hand.
7.
And not surprisingly, a 7 did not come.
Boy, that's some of the funniest stuff I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, that's some really funny stuff. You know, I'm going to ask him if I can steal that. Maybe I can put it in my next script.
Oh, man. This is going to be the last hand of the night.
No! No. Come on. Woo-wee!
Dave, tell us how you're really feeling.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Hey, like you said, you know, live at the bike, politically incorrect, keep it real.
Right.
You know, we're not going to sugarcoat things, okay? Sometimes, I mean, you got to be honest, 95% of our games are awesome. The action is great. You can learn something from it. It's really fabulous. Tonight's action kind of blew.
10-8-8 here on the flop.
Emmanuel a top pair.
9-8-8, excuse me.
Oh, okay. Well, Vu was top
Vu's
pair,
gonna
and
bet.
he's going to bet it.
Yeah.
And I like the bet. You know, I got to be honest with you. He's going to take it down.
Well, that is going to do it for us tonight. And I think we had fun with tonight, but everyone who is just watching the show for the first time, again, we had a little bit of trouble setting the game down, and we didn't realize that kind of what happened had happened. But
Right.
really, give us, check out tomorrow, 10-20 No Limit. That is a game where it's blood.
No, without a doubt.
Bloodlust.
Tomorrow night's show
And it's-
rocks.
And it's a great, great poker, and there are tens of thousands of dollars on the table, sometimes in each hand. We've had over $20,000 pots in that game.
Yeah, the action is fabulous. Friday nights, we do need your help to pick the best player tomorrow.
That's right. VIP wins, very
McCartney?
important player wins Paul McCartney tickets.
Yeah.
So for everyone here in the booth and for David Tuckman, I'm Bart Hanson. Good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.